but the hero is not getting changed up. The hero is still the same, and the more nerfs to the heroes, it means Razor priority and become stronger because the other heroes are getting nerfed and Razor not getting nerfed. So it all comes down, it all comes up to this. And now Razor becomes a very popular hero that even the teams who play very few games on Razor, it's like too powerful of a hero. Like I have like a lot of games on the hero, and it's hard for me to like get the hero, but because these people like play it like just because it's too powerful, they're getting it, and they're abusing how powerful this hero can be.
All right, I got a question. How do you counter Razor in lane? It feels like he just doesn't lose lanes these days.
Well, Seb knows the answer, and he knows what I'm gonna say. There is only one hero who can counter Razor on lane. It's Viper, and this is for everyone.
That's because he's biased too, by the way. But I think yesterday, like a theme for the games was that twice PSG beat Razor with a faceless Void early pick. And the same happened to Aster. The same happened to us. I mean, Aster did it too. They picked faceless Void very early in the draft, and they won the game. So theoretically, if teams go under the assumption that the games were supposed to go how they went, and the draft was correct, we're going to see Void as an answer to Razor today, or it's going to be banned out. Obviously, when a team is as dominant as PSG, everybody tends to either copy them or at least, use them as inspiration. So whatever they do to counter Razor, other teams are also going to try to do it.
So as we get ready for this draft, something that I always like to ask my guest panelists, because it's always fun to pick the brain of the pro players who've been there, right? There's been a lot of talk right now with the strength of Dire, Chen Dire even, and we're seeing Spirit starting on the Dire with Aster first pick. Not so surprising with Aster having had some favorable sides on Radiant, but what's the deal with Dire?
I mean, I feel like the games are... Okay, so if you think about how the games go, a lot of the action actually happens around the mid area and therefore the Roche pit. And there's very little action happening on the bottom side of the map these days, whether you're Radiant or Dire. And Dire just has a better map positioning when it comes to this mid map and the Roche area, obviously. Roche is so important these days, right? Teams are taking Roche much earlier than they used to, so you get quicker to the second and the third Roche, which is really game-breaking. And Dire just has a huge advantage when it comes to that.
Yeah, I mean, we've noticed that in all of the matches that we've casted so far, there's like a little joke right now. The team that gets a second Roche is most likely to win.
Yeah.
The team that contests the third Roche, that might be the throw Roche because it completely changes the pace of the game. But we are in the draft. We're seeing Razor already banned out, Viper already banned out.
No surprise for me.
Yeah.
That is already a big surprise, though, because Aster is first pick, and they just banned the Chen. So it means that they don't want the Chen to be in the poll. They lost yesterday with it to us, so maybe they lost confidence in the hero. Or maybe they know that Team Spirit is ready to counter it, and they respect that. So there's going to be a change of pace. Razor is not in, Chen is not in, so and Viper is not in. So the heroes that are supposedly abusable or broken per se, even though we don't think they're broken, but dominant, are not going to be in the pool.
Right, so are we going to be expecting like the standard openings of Puck, Wyvern, Tiny? Yeah.
Probably that's the case.
Yeah.
Don't see anything more. Like already Razor, Viper, Chen, and now one more ban.
Timber is still in, but I don't know if these teams rate Timber high. I think Aster does.
I think it most likely was us more than other teams.
Should probably be Tiny for Aster here. It's like their big comfort. Boboka, Tiny, they can also play it mid, very comfortable. Yeah, Timber made it through the pool. All of the heroes that are usually first phase banned.
I mean, I do like the Spirit ban on the Dazzle. It is something that Aster loves to play and has a really good win rate with, so it's not surprising. And there is the Tiny for the opening on Aster.
Yeah, no surprise there. So now Spirit is just going to have to kind of open. So second pick, obviously you get to react in the second and the third phase, which is very comfortable position to be in because you see more heroes and you get to counter pick. The only tricky situation for second pick is now because this Tiny doesn't give much info. It's very expected. It's very versatile. There's no such thing as punishing him, especially if he can be put on a support position. So you kind of want to consider Spirit being first pick, even though they're second pick. Like they are the ones that are going to reveal something that can be used against them first, if that makes sense.
Right. So something interesting, since you all talked about that Timber Saw, Aster has played it a few times this event. Spirit have not, but it's actually like a very good collapse hero. So is it possible in this stage of the game with how strong he is that we might make a debut here for Aster, or for Spirit, I mean?
I mean, probably on first stage, like most teams don't really comfortable to first stage at Timbersaw. And mostly bans I see is like second stage bans for the Timbersaw. It's like only us who rate to first pick it anyway.
How do you guys feel about the puck into the Tiny?
Yeah, it's scary. So for I don't know if this has been discussed on drafting panels before, but it's common assumption that Tiny is a counter to puck, especially from the mid lane. It's one of the better matchups, one of the worst matchups for puck to play against, and puck is a dominant hero. So that's why usually teams are a little bit skeptical picking the puck into the Tiny, and some might just decide that puck is too high value anyway, and you just play puck into Tiny and you kind of tank the matchup. Spirit already used a lot of their reserve time on these first two picks, and I don't think the Tiny first pick from Aster came as a surprise, so it means that the Chen ban from Aster really threw Spirit off. They were ready to play against it, that's what I would say, and they probably got very surprised that it didn't get through the poll, and it changed completely the plan they had in the first phase going into this. And Aster get their hands on the Winter Wyvern. These guys they're probably the team that plays the heaviest on team fight, I feel, in this tournament. Yesterday they had insane team fights in both games, the Voids, the Brewmasters, the Wyverns, these really big ultimates that make it really hard to kind of scale into them in the late game, because they have such heavy team fight. Thank you.
That's so sweet.
And that's what I was here for anyways.
I'm here to get flamed by the crowd. I only see pictures of me.
You gotta embrace it. Embrace the flames.
They banned the Timber against Tiny Wyvern. Do you think it would have been a good Timber pick?
Yes, of course. Wyvern dies to Timbersaw. Tiny also strength hero dies to Timbersaw. It's easy Timbersaw pick.
So both teams have not revealed much. Team Spirit is going to be the next pick on the second phase. Most likely they will pick a support hero. That has been the trend this tournament. Like show your mid laner, that's not really a surprise. Everybody knows that puck might happen, puck always happens. And then show two supports, and then get ready to counter pick basically with the 18 pick, which is the fourth pick for Team Spirit and the fifth pick, and react to what Aster does. Because by then Aster will have revealed 4 heroes and basically kind of start showing their lanes and how their strategy is going to look like. I like the Enigma ban from Team Spirit. I feel like it's one of the best pairings with the Tiny position 4. And from Aster's perspective, even though we said we like the Tiny mid versus Puck, Tiny is just good against Puck even from support position, and Boboka is probably one of the best Tiny players in the tournament. So I think their plan A is to keep the Tiny on support.
Yeah, how do you feel about like all of these heroes being such flex in this meta right now?
I think it's important.
Yeah.
If you have the luxury to do it with the versatility that you get from your players, it just makes it that much harder for the opposing team to draft against you. So very, very important in my opinion. Even Wyvern could be flex. I don't think for Aster it is the case. We've seen teams play Wyvern mid. Tundra does it, LGD does it, amongst other teams. So in theory, yeah, Team Spirit locked the puck. That is the hero that is going to the mid lane. Even though we've seen it on other roles for other teams, for Team Spirit it's not the case.
Oh my, what is happening here? Anyway, Amar, you are very experienced with having a lot of your heroes banned out, and I'm sure can personally attest how important it is to have a deep hero pool and having that ability to flex as well. And I think like we were even seeing it here on this ban situation. Spirit never played Timbersaw, and yet he's banned out. So Collapse, as their offlaner, probably has a lot of deep hero pools as well. What are you expecting to see to come out on the side of Spirit for their offlane?
I mean, I see 4 offlaners banned, NS, Razor, Timber, Viper. I mean, he will kind of react, like he will just see the carry and he will just pick his hero. Like it depends to the carry. Like if he picks some, I don't know, it's like lifesteal. You pick Razor, but of course Razor is banned, so you pick some Slarders, and you just kind of counter the matchup and you have fun, I guess.
I think Spirit really wanted the Phoenix here. I think it is a great ban from Aster. Would have been amazing for them.
Spirit has the response pick to the carry pick, right? So they're probably going to pick a support here, and then lane counter like Amar was saying.
Yeah, they're protecting the puck mid with the TA and the Pudge ban. These are Aster's two answers to puck mid. Very comfortable on Ori's very comfortable on both heroes, and both heroes have a great way to play into puck. So yeah, I think Team Spirit is doing a really good. Like both teams honestly did a great job with the second phase bans in my opinion, and really banned the top choices that would have been for Aster and for Spirit. I wonder what Miposhka is gonna play. Probably is gonna be his hero here. I'm quite confident he would have wanted the Phoenix, so that was a great ban from Aster. And now they're gonna have to rethink what they want. And they go for a Rubik position 5, which is, I think Team Spirit is the only team to do it. But they like it. They believe in it very much.
I mean, they could flex. They could go Rubik 4 and snap 5.
Yeah.
Swap players.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the tricky part of the draft for Aster. This is when, even though you had flexibility with the Tiny, you're gonna give it away now. This is when the second pick dominance starts.
I've heard a lot of people say at this point, like, you should pick some strong combo for the game.
Yep.
So that way when there's a counter, it's like, well, at least we have this combo, this synergy to play off of instead.
Definitely one of the nicest way to draft, indeed, because you're gonna have to expose yourself, but some things, even though they're exposed, they're still barely beatable.
Yeah.
It all comes down to if Spirit can punish the 16-17 from Aster. If they could get like a very insane hero into the 16-17 with the Wyvern and Tiny, it's gonna be like easy draft for Spirit.
And they're a good team at doing that. I feel like both Collapse and Yatoro can play like a really wide range of heroes. So they're going to be able to pick out of all these heroes what counters Aster the most. So I think it's a great position for Spirit to be in, to put both Collapse and Yatoro in a counter pick situation.
So something to point out here is that Spirit has banned out that Pudge, and you all talked about how up until yesterday, really, Pudge was not much of an issue, and now we're seeing it banned out. What do you think is Spirit like looking to consider if that Pudge is banned?
I mean, it's going to be for Aster to find heroes that they'd like against the puck mid. Now that Spirit removed both the Pudge and the TA, I think they're running out of matchups that they like, to be honest. So probably the puck will be well protected. I feel like the puck's going to have a good lane, no matter what. Okay, they go for the Bristleback here.
And the Brewmaster. The hero that we lost to every game.
Yeah. I mean, once again, Aster's team fight is really, really dominant. It's very strong. It's going to be hard for Spirit to fight into it. So we'll see which approach they take. It's an early Bristle pick. Usually you see Bristle paired up with a combo, like Bristle with Dazzle, Bristle with Io, Bristle with Cuddle. Now this is just like a, quoting like a naked Bristle pick, which can be scary because it's about to get counter picked twice here. And yeah, there you go. Like Doom, one of the best heroes in the game against Bristle. Obviously you Doom him. Bristle needs to be able to cast spells for him to be dominant. Doom has Infernal Blade, which is HP percentage damage, so he's one of the heroes that cut through Bristle at every stage of the game. You can buy Aghanims and break him, break his passive, and then Bristle becomes actually not tanky at all, actually very, very squishy because he has really low strength gain. One of the best heroes to play against Doom, to play against Bristle, sorry, so quite scary for Aster, I would say.
Aster bans an anti-mage. Huh.
Yatoro anti-mage, and they have one Tiny, and Doom and Puck and Snap and Rubik have insane damage, so it's good ban for them. I think anti-mage could easily just get to minute 30 and have 4 items and kill these heroes. He doesn't really need to kill Bristol this game. He just has to find Winter and Tiny and maybe Brew, if you could.
Is there anything that Aster needs to consider to protect that Bristle a little bit from the Doom situation?
Yeah, they have to. I think they really need to turn this Doom versus Bristle matchup right now because The fights are quite simple for Spirit to take, honestly. Like, Buck is uncontested almost this game, so he's going to create a lot of chaos, and he's going to help the Doom find the right target and find the right jump, which is obviously going to be the Bristle or the Brewmaster, depending on the fight. But Doom has... A good Doom wins the fight right now, and I don't know if Aster can turn it unless the last hero does. You have many ways. You have either a defensive way, where you fight through the Doom, either with a save or a disengage ability, or the other way is, offense is the best defense. Like, you start the fight yourself. You find the Doom, you proc his Blink Dagger, kill him maybe, and this is going to give freedom to your Bristle. They have the Brewmaster to do that. It creates a lot of chaos when Primal Split is clicked, but I'd like to see them add a little bit more on top of it to really enable this Bristle team fight.
Is that a bit surprising that Aster would ban out the Void? That is something that they usually play themselves?
I mean, it's quite good, no? Wouldn't you say? The Void here?
I mean, Void really doesn't die also, like same as anti-mage. Like,
They don't have enough damage, right?
there is no damage, one time walk, one deletion, and they cannot do anything.
Yeah.
And also insane team fight, so the Aster can never really fight them.
Like, Aster wants to play really long fights where it's really hard to kill their heroes. Yeah, here comes the Zeus. I mean, that adds a lot of damage. That's a way to find the Doom too. Zeus is one of the best vision heroes, and I think throughout this tournament, teams have gotten much better at using the Zeus, where they're going to click the Zeus ulti as soon as the fight is about to happen, so that the jumpers are going to find the best jumps, basically. The Winter Wyvern will see all the heroes. He'll be able to position himself properly. The Tiny will find the right Blink Avalanche also because of Zeus ulti. So very good pickoff. Good hero against Buck. Not a straight-up counter, but a hero that matches well against him.
And it's Juggernaut to round things out.
Yep. Great pick. Great pick. The healing ward, the sustain versus the damage over time and the long fights. There's no such thing as taking long fights against Jugger. It doesn't do anything. Everybody's full HP because of the healing ward. So, which draft do you like the most here, Mar?
I like Spirit.
Yeah.
I think Spirit has like a very straight up way to win this game. But Aster has to do like some clutch moments and like outplays to win this game. So I really favor Spirit for this game.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah,
Sam?
very much. I think they have a much superior draft, actually.
Yeah, I was also going to say that before these guys did. My expert analysis says, yeah, it's going to be Spirit that wins.
All right, yeah, I mean, I can't dissuade or disagree with any of that. I have to piggyback with the rest of my panel here. But we do have the match underway, so let's find out who is going to take this first game in the lower bracket finals. We have Gareth and Lacoste.
Here we go, yeah, it's nice to see so much synergy and teamwork down there with your phones and tablets making memes. I'm going to have someone explain some of the Chinese memes to me, though. What about the teamwork and synergy in these drafts, though, Lacoste? How are we looking for Aster against Spirit?
Team Spirit didn't pick any heroes that have Spirit in their name. On the other side, Team Aster did pick a Brewmaster, so I think they got this one. But on a more serious note, I do like a little bit more that Team Spirit has this team fight. Team Aster did try to go with the Zeus last pick. It's a good Zeus game, but it's a godly Juggernaut game as well. And also having Puck plus Snapfire, these two heroes throughout the whole game will, you can always do something. Yeah, pretty much. It's always, we're going to smoke, we're going to be able to get the kills on pretty much every single hero in this game.
Yeah, get level 6, go roaming around, and the position 5 Rubik, something we've seen Team Liquid do a little bit, Team Spirit bring it out. Was that just kind of a blind pick saying, hey, this is a hero that's going to do well regardless of what happens?
It's something that you mentioned, some teams do feel a bit more comfortable playing Rubik as a 5. It's not, when you look at what he has to steal in this game, Tiny probably going to be the big one, maybe Brewmaster, Ulti, Winter's Curse, these are the 3 big abilities that he wants to steal, especially Avalanche early on, because it does get maxed out, so once you have 2 nukes, Rubik gets super powerful.
It sure does. As it looks like we are nearly ready. I've nearly lied. They've paused the game, so we do have a little bit of a pause and break before we start things off. Laning stage-wise, how are we going to be looking here for Team Spirit? Because Doom is a hero that I feel we've seen last picked or later stage picked by a lot of teams this tournament, and he's not done particularly well. How is he going to fare here against Aster?
They don't have that much burst damage to just take him out immediately, because Doom does get tanky relatively early with his BKB. There's one ability that goes through magic immunity, so other than that, I think he's going to be fine. He's going to be able to get the Doom off, and also Puck is going to be the setup for Doom. Puck is going to provide vision, lock onto a target, and allow Doom to connect to it.
So I guess one of the problems they're going to face is that Zeus ulti, like Seb was mentioning, right? The vision that's going to give, if Doom is going to be able to get the jump with the puck, and whether or not they're going to allow this Wyvern and Tiny to find those initiations themselves. Well, Monet's having a bit of fun in the in the game. You can't see it yet, but he's spamming his chat wheel, space created.
Yeah, and it seems like Team Spirit is ready to go.
Let's get things underway then. Game 1 of this best of 3, kicking off with Aster bottom is 5, Team Spirit all gathered in around that mid lane. Potential early fight and initiation, because both teams very good at these level 1 fights.
Yeah, looking at Team Aster, Baboka gonna be playing that position for Tiny. One of the better Tiny players out there, most definitely manages to get out so much done at the early stages of the game, and Ori on his, we can even call it signature Zeus. Yeah, but XXS, he is playing Brewmaster, something that he's been shining lately, I would say, causing a lot of issues. Brewmaster not as strong in the early stages of the game, but at the end, like in the mid game, once you get to that Aghanim Scepter timing, Refresher, Eon Disc, things do get very chaotic.
They sure do. I think I'm back. We're good.
Oh, good to have you back, Gary. Got me worried there for a second that I'm going to need to be a play-by-play caster.
Don't you worry. Both teams very ready to fight early on at level 1 as they prep themselves here. Aster waiting in the trees, coming in behind Mira. He's going to see them, though, and very quickly dodge away. But let's see if Bobaka can actually catch up. He's thrown out the high five, and he's got boots of speed. Mira with a cookie to the low ground. Nicely played. Will slip away from Aster. Sneaky little move there.
Most importantly, he does not die. Looking at his starting items, 3 tangos, and also planting down a center ward just in case if enemies decided to block the small camp, or even put an observer ward on the high ground. But not much region in this lane on bottom. So Doom is bringing some extra because his starting items, a lot of stats. Magic Wand plus 3 branches.
Yeah, against that Bristleback, super important. Catch those Magic Wand charges after the quill sprays. We do have this Wyvern just sitting, throwing out Arctic Burns to chip away at them. Mira, with his cookie level 1, try and get some harassment back into them, looking for those range creep secures. Not the ideal situation to go cookie level 1 usually, is it? You want Scatter Blast in this kind of lane to blast people. Oh, Toronto, Tokyo. Use the Fairy Fire. Ori very close to finding that first blood.
Ori, yesterday, when he was playing Zeus, did the same thing, but he did manage to get the first blood this time around. You know that these two players, they want to push the limits.
They're both so very close to death. Like an Orb and a Waning Rift could kill Ori. He doesn't have any Fairy Fires, but he will have Courier coming out to deliver something. Bobaka gonna drag creep waves even behind tier 2 top, making sure that the Rubik can't actually chase him back and secure any of that experience. So a nice little adaptation there. Usually we see that between the tier 1 and the tier 2. Arctic Burn, incredibly annoying against these 2 strength heroes.
It's a lot of harassment early on because Wyvern does deal a ton of damage. Bristleback didn't invest too much mana for the first couple of levels. Usually we do see Bristles. Oh, Wyvern might be in a bit of a trouble. They're not going to die because there is no Infernal Blade and Scorched Earth. Still not enough damage to dive underneath the tower.
Yeah, with the Bristleback stacking up quill sprays as well. You don't want to go committing too heavily for anything like that. But they are burning through a lot of this early regen, and Team Spirit, again, the ones with the magic wands and the sticks, so they have that constant free regen as Bobaka tossing Maposhka under tower. A good bit of chip damage there. No clap, though. No real play to be made onto the Rubik. So far, so good for Yatoro. 11-3 for him. But yeah, look at this Zeus and Bristleback really coming out on top in the laning stage. Brewmaster, not so much. 5-1 being shut down completely. But that is due to Bobica dragging a couple of these waves, though, right?
Yeah, he did take a creep wave for himself, and also Yatoro did manage to zone him out using Blade Fury level 1 just to deal some damage to Brewmaster. And Brewmaster not the strongest of the laners, one of the reasons why he's not picked as much, but we see another spin on Brewmaster.
Yeah, just doing as much damage as they can to him. Well, Bobica with his boots. Oh, he's looking to kill off this courier. Nice bit of micro, though, from Miposhka. Might get it away. He's tried to juke, but not working out. The Tiny finds it in the end. Well, Collapse coming back here. Level 2 Devour, grabs himself an Alpha Wolf. A lot more physical damage now, able to come in towards this bottom lane. But you're right, Brewmaster, not one of the best laners, but it's made up for by the fact that he is such an exceptional team fighter, that chaos creator, right?
Yeah, definitely. Brewmaster doesn't really provide you with much, especially with Tiny. Like, there is some kill threat, especially because there is Rubik position 5. So if he's out of position, Bobica maybe looking for a potential toss back, but no, Miposhka will get the courier.
Revenge is sweet. Miposhka finding Bobica's one now. Yatoro. Nothing really to stop him here. The fact that he is a Juggernaut with Spin and Healing Ward. And we've seen this combo with the Chens and the Dazzles. Now he doesn't necessarily need it. Just able to sustain himself in the lane. Never going to get kicked out. Never forced to jungle as Monet. Oh, Mira with some nice little body blocks there. Getting some additional damage from the tower onto the Bristle.
It's damage, but then looking at the build from Winter Wyvern, he does have a point in Cold Embrace, so they're not going to be able to kill him. It's all about sustaining Bristleback until he gets to his Vanguard timing and the toss back underneath the tower.
Yeah, there's the kill on Miposhka.
Easy collapse from Brewmaster.
Very easy. And another great toss back from Bobica. This is why that position 4 Tiny is so feared and so contested throughout this tournament. He's still the highest picked hero through Arlington Major.
Zeus is about to be 6 on a mid lane. You got to be careful. You know that Team Aster will be playing aggressive on the side lanes. I don't think they're going to be able to kill the Juggernaut because of the spin and just not enough damage. But looking at the bottom lane, Monet needs to use the courier and finish off that Vanguard, and here they go.
Yeah, I mean, Monet, he's tried to play aggressively, has the Cold Embrace behind him, but Collapse and Mirror, they offer so much damage that even this Bristleback can't tank through it. With the Thunder God's Wrath, though, they get even more in towards Collapse, chasing him back with Splinter Blast, pop the raindrops, but they still find the kill. Monet survives through it with his stick, the Cold Embrace, the Ring of Health, all of this sustain.
And Ori, this time around, he's not getting last hits. It was more about just providing damage and saying to the rest of the team, it's time to go. We want to get this stuff done. So getting one kill from that, oh, Miposhka is in a lot of trouble.
Oh dear. Trying to guard that rune, wasn't he? Loses his life for it, so has to pick up another one. 3-0 start for them.
Oh, Monet's courier gets killed, so that's his full Vanguard. I still don't think they have enough damage to take down Bristleback in this lane, because Doom is level 4. This pack leader Aura definitely helps out with some physical damage. But then again, Siamese Cat did put the point in Cold Embrace early on, which, like when they use the combo from Team Spirit, they just don't have enough if Bristleback is full HP.
Yeah, they're able to wait it out and keep on going. So Vanguard now delayed for a couple of minutes. A little bit sad for the Bristleback. But Rubik's death up top allowed the puck to get a regen rune, as Monet is getting gone on, but has the back over Bobica. Taking down Mira. Collapse now trapped in the trees, and Monet seems perfectly fine. Does get coiled. What's he got? The Cold Embrace. Any stick charges? No, he's dead. Toronto, Tokyo's rotation with this puck gets the kill on the Bristleback, and that's the additional little bit they needed.
Yeah, Monet needed that Vanguard to survive. They're having some block damage and also have an extra bit of a HP. He's going to be able to run away.
Yatoro back to the creeps, unfortunately, or well played by XXS, as he did maneuver himself back into the creep wave to allow for that to happen. But this has so far been a free farm Juggernaut as they doom Tiny down bot. Oh, Bobica, he's pinged out. They know where he is now. There's no juking away from these boys. Find the Tiny. Toronto, Tokyo stuck around, making sure they just get that additional little bit of kill threat and gold going their way.
Monet's pretty happy about it, that he is not the one tanking the first Doom, potentially dying as well, so Bobica will tank one for the team, and also on the top lane, because Juggernaut did use ulti. It means now 1.5 minutes for XXS to do as much as he wants, potentially even threaten a kill on other hero than the Juggernaut. If someone's on the top lane with the Primal Split plus Baboka, they can get the kill.
But it seems like this is where Team Spirit start to pick up the tempo. Eight minutes in, they're already smoking. Puck has made a couple of rotations, and now they're on the Zeus. Snap the coil, the cookie in, Mira. He's helping to set up for this. Miposhka trying to arrive as well, but the avalanche and that heavenly jump, tossed back too, will send the Zeus to safety.
They sent him to Stratosphere. What the hell was that? Tossed during heavenly jump.
And they cancel the TP. They've caught out Mira. Thunder God's Wrath will take him down.
And also Zeus having Illusion Rune in his bottle, allowing him to dispel silence from Puck. Even though it's only level 1 silence, it still lasts for 2 seconds, and then allowing him to get the heavenly jump.
Toronto, Tokyo. Treads bottle 1 before the Witchblade, so he's deciding, more of an early game build here, tank up, get those stats. And we've seen, I feel like, more of a shift as well from group stage where the Witchblade Rush was very popular to now people thinking, no, we need to play faster with smaller items, build up with these treads and wands.
It depends on the matchup, because whenever you play, I think the most played matchup on the mid lane must have been Puck against the Void Spirit.
Yeah.
And this is where you want to have power treads for Void Spirit, and then Puck also adjust his item build.
And then people get comfortable with it. He's heading into that Witchblade now, though. As Team Aster, described as a relatively conservative team when it comes to the drafting and maybe the playstyle as well a little bit, are starting to make some aggressive moves here. Returning the favor with a smoke down to bottom. Mira scouted out. Unless this Snapfire is super dead. Tries to cookie in. They want to maybe get Collapse as well. That's the big ticket kill. Collapse dived under tier 1. And Mira blown up too. Very quick move from Aster, just swinging it down to this bottom lane.
Team Spirit, they don't have any vision on this right side of the map. If you split it in half, they do have 2 observer wards on the top, and good move from Aster, bringing in numbers. And like, this is not the most important tower in the game, but it does also allow you, if you manage to take it, to have another entrance to the enemy triangle. You're going to feel much more safer, because other heroes won't be able to sit at the tower and defend it, collect the XP, so still a very good tower to take.
Yeah, because usually you'd want to be ganking and roaming into the enemy safe lane, right? To kill the position 1, the big target you want to bring down. But in this game, he's a Juggernaut, so kind of difficult for you to do that. Primarily because all of your early game damage is magical through the Zeus and the Tiny. Toronto, Tokyo going to be the one to defend this bottom tower for a little bit, dragging waves back, while Rubik looks like he's going to get the full access to the mid lane for a little bit of golden experience. And yeah, look at Mira there. He must be, what, 2 or 3 experience away from level 6, super close to it. When the Catspot dies, he'll have it. And then kill threat.
This is the big combo.
They've got coil
into Snapfire ulti. This is something that they can always play off throughout this whole game. Pre-BKB, it's always going to be a kill threat on someone. I'm a little surprised that XXS is having that free of a game on Brewmaster. This is the one scary hero once you get to your item timings. And he's sitting at the 2 assists, 0 deaths, rushing that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, it's like his net worth isn't amazing, but it's better than a Brewmaster should be at this point of the game. Building up all those little kind of incremental item build-ups. Tranquil, Soul Ring. Getting into the Aghanim Scepter for that team fight chaos. Miposhka's managed to get himself level 6 and Arcane Boots while we do finally get this smoke. The Puck and Snapfire are looking for the setup into Kisses. They don't want to just kill the Tiny though. They would love to see Ori Zeus.
It's a lot of commitment for position 4 Tiny. It's a lot of commitment for position 4 Tiny.
And Mira, smoke is already broken, so regen rune just going to be guarded up by the snap.
Another rune for him. Rune to Tokyo. This time around, controlling every single active rune.
Yeah, a number of them have been regens, which is accelerating his farm decently, but he's still down at the bottom of the net worth of Team Spirit because he has been so active, roaming around, hasn't had that time to farm. I'll bring Wyvern up top now. And it looks like Aster want to make a concerted effort to bring down this tier 1. They've kicked the Juggernaut out of lane because he's had this read. He felt something was coming. And Radiant are even scanning under the tower to see if anybody is here to defend, and the answer is just no.
This is going to take a while. Aster does not have a hero that kills the tower. Tiny doesn't have a point in 3 grab, something that we see from position 4 Tinys if it's a good lane for it. And now Monet comes. He's the, let's call him big tower hitter here.
Yeah, it needs to get some stacks up for that bonus damage. There's a 108 bonus, 133. Just keeps building that physical damage. Crumbles the tower down to dust. Wyvern, one of the better heroes to send down into this dead lane to defend tower. You've got wave clear, you've got the ability to fly over trees, so you're difficult to really catch and kick out of the lane. So a challenge here for Collapse and the rest of Spirit to find this Wyvern.
Spirit try to find him with Tumbler's Toy and Cookie, but Siamese Cat still full HP, does have that Winter's Curse and also defending the tower very efficiently.
Yeah, they've brought everybody but the puck down here, giving Toronto Tokyo a little more time to farm. And Winter Wyvern, it looks like he's got enough of a gap to escape, even going to curse up the Juggernaut. He felt that Cookie was coming. A little bit of damage there from Collapse onto him, but that's now Curse on cooldown. No big team fight ability for quite some time.
He's definitely fine with that, because other 4 members of Spirit, they're still not committing to tower. Finally, Yatoro is going to go there, and Siamese Cat, he's going to be okay here. Does have flying movement, puts down an Observer Ward.
It's so difficult to like uproot this Winter Wyvern and kick her out of lane. They will get some damage on the tower and finally bring it down, but in the meanwhile, there's been pressure onto Toronto Tokyo's Park, a little bit of pressure towards the mid lane as well, and that's when Team Spirit will have to now rally around and look to mount a defense.
We haven't seen Snapfire ulti, and also we have not seen Brewmaster using ulti. This might be the first time. XXS, smoked, he's ready to go.
They want the Juggernaut, Avalanche toss, down to half HP, Yatoro gets off the spin, the one, the TP home, oh, the crit! XXS just about gets it.
Oh, unbelievable. You know, sometimes you need to be blessed by Gaben. Gets that crit. I mean, he did use this Earth Brawler, so... No, it's actually the Fire Brawler. My bad. Still adjusting to new Brewmaster.
Yeah, he toggled it, but still going to rely on that RNG as they do find Mira Snapfire. 5 members of Aster, all gathering up in this mid lane. And they want to turn these 2 pickoffs into something larger. Mid-tier 1, that's the objective they want to claim. We've got some really strong tower defense and team fight ability from Team Spirit, but with 2 heroes down and without the Snapfire, like you mentioned, they're getting run at. Aster, they sense weakness. They want Miposhka. There's the Doom into the Zeus, though, as the Avalanche landing towards Collapse to deny. Monet removes the opportunity from Spirit and kills off another 2.
Bristleback just picked up Aghanim Scepter. It was getting delivered as the fight was being... Gary, I feel like they just don't have enough to punch back what Team Aster has at the moment. XXS still chasing Mira.
Yeah, we still haven't seen any Mortimer's Kisses. No lava launched. It's just stones being thrown at them by Bobica.
Double damage spawn bottom as well.
And this itemization is so fast as well. Tiny has Blink. You mentioned the Bristle Aghanim Scepter. Everybody is ready on Aster to continue fighting. They are investing in aggression, and Miposhka found again. Monet just comes in and slaps him down. There's a DD rune bottom. This tier 1 tower going to fall, but the curse
toss is available.
Tokyo. The toss. Have they got the chain disabled to kill off the puck? They do.
Well, Bristleback hits for 500 damage with that double damage. It seems like they want to ignore tier 1 tower, go inside a pit. They know that someone will need to address the top lane for Aster because there's a lot of creeps and also bottom lanes being pushed in.
Yatoro, full Mjolnir. Gonna go back into the Aghanim Shard next. It looks like he wants to buy a Bassi. We'll see if he decides to complete it. Might not need it as we get later into this game. Bobica just gonna hold on that mid wave while Monet cuts across. They've got a good idea where Team Spirit are. Capped down in that bottom corner of the map. And Aster can just keep smoking into them. Collapse is pretty forward here. Oh, they're going to break the smoke on him. Or he's dragged the creep camp across, so he doesn't get scouted. They're moving in towards
Might find
the
Courier.
snap
Never
and
mind.
He
does not want to get scouted.
And Team Spirit, it looks like they've dragged Aster down here as they now move up towards top. But look at the Radiant Vision. 2 Observer wards up in that top jungle and the top lane see everything as Team Spirit reposition themselves on the map.
You can feel Team Spirit being very scared right now. They do not want to fight into this Bristleback with Aegis that does have Aghanim Scepter.
It's your favorite.
It's Philosopher's Stone, drop for Rubik. So he will get an extra farm. They could also give this to Mira, because Mira, what I see, wants to get his Blink, wants to get the Shard. It's going to be a lot of gold. We still haven't seen Mortimer's Kisses, right?
We haven't. I don't believe so. I mean, we're getting old. Might be needing new prescriptions for our
Yeah, maybe I was
glasses,
watching a different part of the map when it happened, but definitely didn't feel the impact of it.
Yeah, 20 minutes in, that was one of the big combos that Panel and we were talking about, is this coil with the kisses, able to kill off pretty much anyone early on. Not utilized yet by Team Spirit, as Monet, with just under 3 minutes left on Aegis, brings down that tier 2. Outpost ready to grab, while Toronto Tokyo will look to kill off the tower here, but Aster, they're defending every objective. The illusions, they deny.
Very difficult to deny with 600 damage on Bristleback. That tier 1 tower causing a lot of issues for Monet.
Yeah, a little bit challenging. And Team Spirit hitting a timing of their own now. And it is still very close in terms of net worth, right? They're both teams spending all of their money investing into these items to be able to fight. So even though there's a 12-kill deficit, they are still able to come in here with a coil and the kisses, catching Tiny, snapping the coil. But look at Toronto Tokyo, very low, has to jaunt away, and Bobaca still alive.
Those kisses did not connect, or either misses or Bobaca did. Bobaca's a madman.
Just jumps in with a toss back. Mira, he can come in and kill the Tiny. Doom's onto the Brewmaster, no split for you. And Team Spirit, they're cursed up on the jug, but they get the kill on XXS.
And they also found Zeus. So 3 big kills for Team Spirit. They do manage to fight when there's no Bristleback around, getting initiation on Brewmaster. Collapse, understanding where the real threat is coming from.
Monet's the one hero that they hands up. Okay, you can't be killed. We'll let you get away with this. But Team Spirit, 4 kills in a row, not losing a single hero.
That's why I was surprised when Bobaca decided to jump in, and also stolen Winter's Curse this time around for Rubik. So that's going to be a pretty big one. If he manages to use that to anyone who's sitting close to Bristleback, it's an insta-kill.
Yeah, they will get shredded.
Unless there's Wyvern, of course, with the Cold Embrace.
Yeah, and 20 minutes in, just one team fight has now kind of rattled that very close net worth disparity. It was bouncing back, 1k this way, 1k that way. Now a 4,000 lead for Team Spirit. What kind of items is this going to give them?
I see Blink just picked up on Snapfire, but is going for Kaya and Sanj to have a bit more status resistance, so those curses are not going to be lasting as long, and also having a bit more spell damage on his abilities, plus a Witchblade. And so far, Team Spirit, they did a very good job dodging this Bristleback.
They have indeed. Aegis close to expiry as well. They'll have that timer. Collapse. He's poking at him, but Bobaca was ready. Little avalanche. Throw a tree at him. Mira cookieing in.
5 seconds. They do not want to kill him.
Oh, it's going to be close here. They get the Winter's Curse on him. The coil as well. He's being healed up. The Aegis healed. They do jump in onto him. The curse, is that enough to save him? No, it's not. Yatoro with collapse, slaying the beast. Bristleback down, and Aster, they're starting to fall apart. These
They
two
really
team
are.
fights have been monumental victories for Spirit.
Team Spirit, they are keeping an eye on that Aegis timer, because this was pretty much perfect execution. Bristleback did manage to get like 500 HP maybe from it, but Coil keeping him in place, allowing rest of the team to connect and also manage to get a kill.
And XXS, he got this Aghanim Scepter, he rushed it, and he's not really been able to use these multiple charges of Primal Splits, because Team Spirit have been so good at finding him, dooming him, and isolating him from these team fights.
He picked up a Blink Dagger, something that usually we don't see, but if he wants to keep the distance, use Blink, maybe jump inside of like a trees or something, and then use Primal Split. I don't know how much value they're going to get from this. It really depends. If Puck manages to find Brewmaster, maybe silence him, and then the follow-up from Doom, because Collapse is playing against Zeus, and he's a top-tier offlaner. You know that he understands which target he needs to go for. So if there's going to be a fight, I assume he's going to pop a BKB just to be able to get the blink off. Because something that Seb mentioned, these teams did get better throughout the tournament at using Zeus ulti. Whenever they feel there's going to be a fight, they instantly pop it, giving vision to Wyvern, giving vision to, like, for a good curse and potentially a toss back from Tiny.
Absolutely. Nice. That's big smoke here from Spirit. They want another fight, but they've got the split out from Aster this time. No Doom from Collapse. Cycloning the Juggernaut. But where's the rest of Aster? Are they going to come in and battle along with this Brew split? The Monet Bristleback will arrive. They curse Collapse for a second there, but Puck has coiled up the Tiny and jumped away from it. So both teams spending a couple of spells, then disengaging.
Coil plus a BKB for Team Spirit. Next Roche, maybe potentially up in another 50, and Team Aster, they want to use this. Another Brew split is available.
And they just got Ags on the Zeus as well. Even more damage and zone control, but that's an illusion.
Ori does not want to be close to a fight. He wants to keep the distance, use this Aghanim Scepter. Maybe when he sees that Doom is down, when there's no BKB, he will join a fight.
Potentially 20 seconds for Roshan as well. So this fight could be incredibly vital for both sides. If it's a fast spawn and you win a battle now, you go into the pit. Second Roche, key to success in a lot of these games. Well, Team Spirit's comfort levels must have risen tremendously the past couple of minutes. Now 7k ahead, even though they're behind a few kills. Aster have been halted in their tracks for the most part. And you mentioned it right after the laning stage. You just said, right, Spirit have to delay the game, drag this one out for as long as possible until they're ready. And we're starting to see BKB coming up for the Puck just to try and withstand some of this magical damage.
Yeah, not your usual item. I like the build that he's going for, because if Brewmaster gets the Yules on you, most of the time it's going to be Juggernaut, but then again, you're not afraid of Tiny, you're not afraid of Zeus, and you can do whatever you want in these fights, because there's only one BKB piercing ability, and that's Winter's Curse.
One of the big threats, though, is this Brew split onto your buildings. You do have to keep your waves pushed out, not allow Aster to really break up the ramp into your base. The demolish on that Earth Panda, incredibly strong. And Roshan has respawned, a pretty quick one. Aegis and Shard await a team that slays the big boy in the pit.
You can see Aster's itemization as well. They know where the damage is going to come from. A lot of magical. Baboka finishing off Hood on his position 4. Tiny was thinking about getting a full pipe, but seems like that's what Siamese Cat going to go for.
Well, they scout with Zeus ulti. Collapse still frontlining here. Yatoro invisible with that rune. And Bobakar under vision. He blinks in, avalanches, but he's met 3-4 Team Spirit heroes. Tiny surrounded. Now, do Aster want to save him with a cold embrace? It looks like they do. They will. Oh, no, they won't. The kisses and the jump from the coil. Find the kill on Tiny, but that's it.
Mortimer's kisses maybe not needed there, but they wanted to make sure that Baboka dies. Respecting that Hood that we just mentioned. And also something that we didn't mention is this Fuel Mjolnir on Juggernaut, which does proc from all these damages from Brewmaster Fire Panda and also Bristleback. Like all those things, Zeus does manage to get multiple spells off in a fight. So you know that this Mjolnir is going to deal a ton of damage. Also Scotty done, so not as much healing. Also the slow against the Bristleback going to be pretty big. They found him.
They do get the coil in onto Wyvern, but the defense there, the Doom after the lift. They've got the stomp onto the Brew too. Team fight ability for Aster now limited, but the Winter's Curse will try and hold it back while Yatoro spins and slices down onto the Brewmaster. Oh, in we go with the Omni Slash. Monet nearly dead.
That's too much damage.
Yatoro will chase with Collapse. Blink Stomp, and there we have it.
And everyone is going to be alive with this healing ward back to full HP. Collapse, he was looking for that opening. And yeah, this Brewmaster blink pickup, not really paying off. He needs to keep the distance or just use the Primal Split after Doom shows himself. Very, very difficult. Collapse knows that if he takes out the Brewmaster, rest of the team is going to be able to deal with the rest. And also, Doom picking up early Shard, percentage-based damage against the Bristleback, plus a Scotty.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they had their timing on Aster, and as this game progresses, things are going to get much, much harder for them.
And they will claim Aegis in real time. They started Roche and then realized Toronto Tokyo had the catch. And just
He's sitting right underneath the ward. Brewmaster on top of the Observer ward from Spirit.
Yeah, great point. Gets lifted, gets doomed, and it has been perfect execution from Team Spirit so far. 4 team fights in a row where they get that key target, they make the right jump, and Miposhka here, again, just aggressively maneuvering in with Collapse and Yatoro, not fearing a single thing.
And Aster, this is some kind of a desperation smoke. They want to surprise Team Spirit, see what they can do.
They need to break this rhythm. They can't allow these team fights to keep slipping away from them. So with the Thunder God's Wrath, they get the vision, but the save from Miposhka gets Collapse back. The Avalanche toss and the Nimbus on Mira will get them a kill. They want more. XXS pops his ultimate. Toronto Tokyo gonna blink away. Oh, he's out of there. He's safe. Or is he? Oh, he's still being hunted a little bit here. They've got a Cyclone to set up on him. There's no one following through, though. This is just a Cyclone to piss off the puck a little bit.
Yeah, and he does have a BKB anyway, so should be okay. This is not position 5 Rubik anymore. This is your position 4, maybe even 3.5 at this point. He's getting all the farm priority. Picked up the shard, was holding the big boy Philly for quite some time, and now has Ether Lance and Psychic Headband.
And plus a stolen curse. Yeah, Miposhka having an exceptional game. Not a hero we conventionally see in the position 5, but definitely one of the players that can bring it out and make it work, especially in these long, drawn-out games where you can get Philosopher's Stone and quite a lot of farm defending lanes. What does Aster do to break out of this rut? Because they must have felt so good about the first 15 minutes, and now the train's left the station. Do you have team fight capability with this Brew split and the Winter's Curse? Enough to deal with this Juggernaut and Doom, who are becoming really overfarmed?
These Brewlings are going to die to Juggernaut, so that's always going to be something that they need to be careful about. And also, puck is getting out of control. Toronto Tokyo with this BKB sitting the top 4 net worth, and look at him jumping in.
They get the split off this time, though. Team fight starts, they do split out. Tiny getting kissed down by the lava globs of Mira's Snapfire. Mortimer slays the Tiny, while XXS is split, not really accomplishing too much, and they're waiting for him to respawn, come out of the split, and they'll get him with a Dune. Winter's Curse, there's 2 of them in the middle of the fight. Yatoro is hitting into Collapse, but the Dune Brew is on the run. Monet with his BKB trying to fight back, but they focus down XXS. They get the kill on him, and Collapse looking for the Tiny, picking off the simpler targets while they Omni-Slash back into the creep wave to save Yatoro.
Yatoro still holding that Aegis buyback from Baboka, and Team Spirit will reset. Every single time Collapse wants to kill Brewmaster, so that's going to be a pretty big one.
On my screen, Baboka poured back before he died.
Vac right there.
Somehow returning to the battlefield before actually falling. But another great fight for Team Spirit, right? They are just building, and there is nothing here that Aster can do to really shake them. It has been so calm from Team Spirit to find the initiations, and it's just perfection every single time. Toronto Tokyo, he pokes, he prods, he's breaking vision, giving a bit of intel here for his team, and it's just patient play from Spirit.
It's very difficult to bring down Yatoro. They did manage to kill him once, and now big item as well. Silver Edge completed on him. So break mechanic against the Bristleback, and also having a guaranteed crit. Very, very difficult Bristleback game from this point.
Well, he's not very Bristle big anymore, is he?
No, definitely not.
Bristle small right now, feeling very sad. 11,000 net worth on the Brew, 14k on the Zeus. Like Bristle, yeah, 17k's in that pack of 3 dire heroes. Does have the Blast Rig now as he works towards an Assault Cuirass. 30 seconds remaining on Aegis. Means Spirit looking for a fight now, but probably going to disengage once it gets, down to 20 or so.
Also, 2 big things against Winter's Curse, having E-Blade completed on puck. And also, I see Rubik holding on to Cold Embrace, so that's a good way to counter it, because Rubik can keep the distance. It's a full screen. If you hover over Cold Embrace with his Psychic Headband, his Arcane Supremacy, and Ether Lens, he can keep the distance and easily cast it on a cursed target.
Yeah, just center the camera on your hero. You can cast it anywhere that you see. Aster trying to deward, get themselves planted on a position on this map. So far, it has been a challenge for them. Still a long wait though, 2 minutes 45 for the next potential Roche spawn. Plenty of times for these huge items for Spirit to come in. Of course, Doom is up there with his GPM. Yatoro has had an exceptional game. What a great Juggernaut pick in the last spot from Team Spirit as we look towards, Lincoln's refresher orbs.
He just hit level 25 on Juggernaut. The imbalance talent, plus 400, almost 500 HP. Also, very fun talent to take.
See, at this point, I don't know if you're being serious or not. Are you sarcastic about this?
I am.
You really love
it's
the
just
500
a straight
HP
up
talent.
HP. That's 25 compared to some other. You remember?
Oh my goodness!
It went from 69,
Nice.
31, nice, to 12%. So very
Also
low win percentages for Team Aster.
Yeah.
You remember Queen of Paint AoE fear talent compared to raw HP talent?
I enjoyed it though. It was a good talent. Definitely imbalanced. And
It was
Aster,
fun while it lasted, definitely.
This may be their last fight as Aster, honestly. Buyback status-wise, the Zeus and the Brew have it. As they break vision, they see the puck, but Toronto Tokyo on the high ground, untouchable, gets back down. Now the lift in on Tiny. Dragging Bobica back into the kisses, and Yatoro spinning. He's destroying this bristleback. They need the curse to reset. A defensive one to turn around again. Catching out the Wyvern with a puck, and this BKB up means that he will drop. Toronto Tokyo dominating as Collapse attempted a cookie forward there with Mira, but Aster have fully retreated.
Holding the high ground. Aster immediately popped Zeus ulti. They wanted to get some kind of initiation after the smoke breaks on Monet, but Puck very good with reflexes, jumps on the high ground. And this Rubik, we said he's not a position 5 anymore. He's causing way too many issues for Aster.
He's same net worth as the Brewmaster at this point. Incredible stuff from Imposhka. Oh, who's that? It's Toronto Tokyo. Boboka a little out in the open here with Ori, and they've got the Omni Slash to open up on the Zeus. The heavily jump will not save you. The spin from Yatoro now, and Team Spirit
Mira
feeling
with the
themselves.
cookie secures that kill. Roshan potentially respawning in 20 seconds. Problem is, if they poke and try to get something done and they don't kill the healing ward, that's a big issue, because every single member of Spirit will be full HP. What are you laughing about, Gary?
Well, the crowd are just ay-ay-aying, Casual. Aster still with some decent high ground defense. No, Team Spirit will have to be a little more delicate with their approach to this Radiant base, even with an almost 30,000 net worth lead. Keep these waves pushed down. Make sure there is no easy maneuver out of this Radiant base for Aster. And 1 minute 45 until Roshan will give them the time to clear out all these waves. Maybe get to their next tier of items. Grab an Arcane Rune on the puck. So it has spawned up top. There we see Toronto Tokyo TPing. Just being reminded by Mira, Arcane Rune still here. Oh, careful, Aster. You're under dire vision. Oh, Team Spirit, they see Monet.
He does have a curse on the Poshka if he wants to use it.
He gets it off. The Doom and BKB traded.
Doom does have another one if necessary. Refresher Orb is available. Collapse way too farmed. This is why Doom is scary in some of these late games.
The blink initiation though, Yatoro. Oh, that curse to save them again. Toronto Tokyo's gonna get the 2-man coil, the kisses, and the magic nuke damage. Collapse has whiffed his initiation a little bit, but they burn down the Tiny. And Monet with no BKB here, he turns on the puck, gets that stun in, as Jug is cycloned in the back lines, but Aster on the run once more. They cannot continue fighting. Team Spirit have way too much to contend with.
Miposhka, what a beautiful performance on this position 5 Rubik so far. It's coming to your pubs and you know it.
I hope not. I only trust 2 men with this position 5 Rubik.
Insania and Miposhka.
Yep. Mira, again, playing under this aggressive vision. Waiting for Aster to make a misstep. And this is prime position for Team Spirit to be in. Roshan respawning soon. Waves pushing in towards Radiant base. They've got dire vision in that top Radiant triangle.
Let's see what the big man's got. It's going to be a refresher this time around.
Do we give that to Doom? Get him multi-Dooms?
I wouldn't mind seeing it in Juggernaut. Double Omni Slash, double Abyssal Blade seems very good.
Yeah, he does output a lot of damage. Monet, well, he's face tanking this Roshan. He's in the pit. Yatoro gets the spin off before the Nimbus. Team Spirit just going to kill that off while they jump in with Toronto, Tokyo, and Mira aiming the Tiny. They look for Bobaka, but now they reset, falling back with another stolen curse. How does Miposhka have this spell every single time?
And he just lost it.
He did
It
as
was
well.
the last second of using it. Unbelievable.
What?
They cannot contest this. This Roshan belongs to Team Spirit. Zeus ulti available in 3 seconds. I don't know if they want to go and try to for some kind of a steal attempt, maybe on Siamese Cat, because he does have a Blink Dagger.
It feels like if you give them this Roshan, you are forfeiting the game. Aster have to do something. Force a fight around the pit, but Monet broken. Omni Slash, down you go. And this has got to be game over soon. Winter Wyvern joining the Bristol in the grave. Chasing forward, Toronto, Tokyo nearly has him.
Oh, does
Zeus
not have any stuns available. And yeah, taking that refresher on Juggernaut, having the Aegis. So far, they only managed to kill him once throughout the whole game. Very difficult task. This doesn't feel like Bristleback. Once he gets broken, he feels like a normal hero.
Yeah, he's not tanky whatsoever.
Also, Doom did manage to find Timeless Relic. So this Infernal Blade is 3.6 seconds stun duration. This is like a Centaur stun.
Oh, some clever stuff, but they killed the Zeus. He does have buyback, but this is all thanks to Miposhka. He dies and Gem is dropped on the floor in the trees while the rest of the team focusing the tier 3 tower.
He's fine with that trade, forcing buyback from Ori, and now onto the high ground they go.
Yeah, he got deep vision down, forced them to try and de-ward. They wasted Nimbus, and they got that kill. Forced the buyback as the buildings fall quickly to Yatoro. Melee racks down. Bobaka, he was thinking about it, but Team Spirit take that first lane.
40,000 net worth lead, 40 minutes into the game, keeping it. Yeah, once you hit that 1k gold per minute, you know that the game is looking really rough. We're in GG territory. Team Aster, they have one more fight, and that's about it.
We're in 0.05% chance of coming back territory, maybe even lower. Tome grabbed by Tiny now. What's he getting towards? Level 16,
nothing.
level
He's
20.
level 16, very close. 100% win rate, hands off keyboard. If they disconnect right now, they will win automatically, apparently.
Yeah, when the bots take over. Just a move down lane. Aster not giving up just yet, though. They want another fight. We still are yet to see a proper brawl from this Brewmaster. He's got Refresher Orb. He's got multiple charges of these splits. We'll see if XXS can get the job done in one more attempt.
Was one of the fastest Aghanim Scepter pickups on Brewmaster, because usually they do get Urn, Spirit Vessel, not that good laning stage, but after picking up the Aghanim Scepter, we really haven't seen much. It was a Blink Dagger and then a Refresher Orb in the last 25 minutes, so didn't get too much done. I mean, Doom had his number throughout the whole game.
Oh, he sure did. And Collapse now has been given that Refresher Shard, so he can doom the Zeus and the Bristleback. Maybe even another. And a Purge Creep.
Purge Creep against the Bristleback.
That's pretty nifty. Oh, what's that? Gobbled up Ogre. Lands with a thud. The break, the Omni Slash, but the E-Blade and the Creep Wave gonna keep Monet alive. The toss back across. Yatoro just gonna spin. Nothing to stop him. This Juggernaut is alone in the base. He's 1v5 zoning the entirety of Aster.
Still almost full 2 minutes until that Aegis is gone, and good Force Staff. They also do have Cookie if necessary. Also Gobble Up about to be ready in 10 seconds. So forcing this split, and meanwhile on the top lane.
Blinks away from Baboka's initiation. They're toying with him now. Primal split ends. He's still got plenty more up his sleeve though. Tier 3 tower down as Team Spirit. Again, no rash decisions. They want to very casually break up this high ground with the spins, with the Aegis. They want Aster to be the ones that force the fight, because we've seen these steals, these resets from Team Spirit work perfectly. A gobbled up creep landing into the back of the Bristle. Kisses, and the break comes in again. They are making this Bristle very uncomfortable now at half health. Might have to dip back into the fountain, but a toss back. BO3 initiates in onto Yatoro, the Nimbus and the chain stun onto the Jug, looking for the kill. Gets the first one. Aegis down, but Tiny's about to drop as the Winter Wyvern has to fly
he's
back
inside
from
Nimbus, the toss.
He gets the kill, but the Juggernaut, the spin and the Force Staff gets him away to safety. Oh, Yatoro away from danger.
They invested everything onto this Juggernaut. Good spell casting there from Aster, and with the healing ward, he's going to be back to full
Another
HP.
toss back. No, it's an avalanche returned into the Tiny. Miposhka on the money once again. And we've spent pretty much all of the buybacks for Aster now.
Collapse is ready to jump in. He did pop the refresher, puts in a refresher shard as well, just in case he needs a third Doom potentially.
There, go
Jump,
in.
here they go.
Find the Bristle, doom him up, kill him off. Now the move into the Winter Wyvern, and one by one they will crumble. The Doom's on the Brewmaster now, so no splits for you. As Collapse's BKB allows him to run
Stolen
freely
Nimby.
towards the fountain. The stolen Nimbus and now the coil. But BO3, he's got other plans, trying to find Toronto Tokyo, who just face shifts as Juggernaut slices into fountain to force the GG.
What a performance from Team Spirit in this game number 1. Game was pretty even 15, 16 minutes into the game when Team Aster did put a lot of pressure picking up that Aegis, and but Team Spirit, they knew exactly what they need to do, dodging these fights and not allowing Aster to go for the group up play. Did manage to push out the 2 waves every single time, and yeah, Collapse, look at him enjoying himself, feeling the crowd.
Breathe it in. I mean, that's the atmosphere they want, they need. Miposhka there as well. Superb performance on the Rubik.
Absolutely brilliant.
Like, you don't want to ban Rubik, right? But against this guy?
Maybe. I don't think it was a Rubik problem. It was more about like how they itemized on Team Aster. I'm not a big fan of this Blink Dagger on a Brewmaster. I don't think it did too much. Yeah. They also missed out on the timing, but Team Spirit, what a shot calling and what a spell casting in the mid and late game.
Yeah, like maybe a Lincoln's on the Brew instead, because like Eon Disc isn't going to save you.
Yeah.
As an awkward one for XXX as Team Spirit do take game 1 here as we head back to the panel.
Thank you so much, guys. Spirit takes game number 1 here. Now, we called that on the panel. I'm saying we called that on the panel, but let's start a bit from the top, because in the beginning, Aster were looking kind of decent in their lanes, right?
Yeah, they had pretty strong early game, I would say. Even more than decent. I think they were winning the lanes, but yeah, probably Spirit had a much superior draft. At least I think that's how we strongly felt like that. Doom was... It was a really good Doom game, it was a really good Jugger game, it was a good Puck game. It felt like all of their cores were quite uncontested, honestly.
I mean, also they had some unfortunate moments bottom when Bristleback Vanguard died. He could have maybe out-tempoed this Doom hard, but
yeah, his courier.
Yeah, his courier died, so he lost his Vanguard, which is very big.
Do you agree with what the caster said as far as like the itemizations that was happening on the side of Aster, on that Brewmaster in particular with the Blink?
I mean, yeah, it did feel underwhelming, but at the same time, I don't really know what item he can buy this game that does the job. Because when you think about how the fight go down, like, this Bristle cannot frontline, which is the whole point of a Bristleback. Like, he has to worry about the Doom, he dies to Doom. He was even dying to the Jugger. I think the Jugger versus Bristle matchup, also, there was a lot to take from that. One spin was taking the Bristle down, almost, or forcing him to reposition himself. And that's the worst thing that can happen to a Bristle. The whole point of the hero is you frontline, they have to run away from you, you break their formation, and you allow your team, such as like a Zeus or a Tiny, to get the, a lot of damage out, get the right pickoffs, and the Bristle could never do it. So I don't think the Brew can fix it. I actually think, if anything, this was a Bristle draft, and it was heavily countered.
Do you think that just because it was picked a little too early in the phase, right? That was like phase 2 pretty much. That was just left them so exposed. I think you addressed that in the draft too.
100%. It was picked phase 2, then it got countered by both Doom and Jugger. and then it just became a burden. And that was the strength of second pick. I feel Team Spirit put it to really good use, and I feel like Aster maybe didn't do a great job at coping with first pick's weaknesses in draft order.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the draft or at the scoreboard here for Spirit, is there anybody that in particular, scoreline-wise, I'm sure we're looking at the puck with that 10-1, 18 that stands out to you as like perhaps like the match MVP for this one?
I mean, I see like they really don't have, like only way they can kill this puck is Danny Avalanche Toss and Zeus all burst damage, and he even bought BKB and he has neither shoal. So it's really hard for him to die this game, and they have still Jugger and Doom with BKBs, refreshers, everything. Like I think this game is hard for them to win. Even though I expected Brewmaster to do more impact, I don't know.
You're just biased because you lost to it. That's
why. This year feels more OP. We lost every game to Brewmaster.
Yeah, I mean, in this game, like he was getting all of his ults off. It felt like it wasn't high impact because his other cores were dying while he was ulting. That fight in the mid lane at about 20 minutes where Ori went down, I don't think we saw it on camera, but I'm pretty sure it was an Omni slash wraparound from Yatoro. After that, it just kind of felt like there was nothing that Aster could do to win the fights. Even though they were getting their spells off, they were still losing the fights to this draft.
So, I mean, I was just kind of revisiting on the side of Aster, their draft against you guys yesterday. They had the Nyx, they had the Faceless Void, which we did see banned out. So it seems like they were kind of trying to replicate that sort of lineup once again for this one, because they had the Zeus. It just did not play out that way. Would you say like that the Bristle just was not as impactful as that Faceless Void was with that lockdown with the Chronosphere?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, think of Aster's course perspective. So Zeus, he wants like a quiet fight, right? He wants the enemy to be busy dealing with somebody else so that he can dish out all the damage, you know, empty his mana pool. And it's an insane amount of damage. Like, he's going to win the fight. I mean, against Juggernaut, it might not be as good because if the healing ward is going on, then you don't have as much impact, so that has to go down. They don't have a hero. I mean, they don't really have a good hero to kill healing ward. That's one thing. So Zeus team fight perspective this game is, my Bristle can't frontline. He's running away. They're catching me. Like, the puck is on top of me all the time. I cannot dish out any damage. The Jugger even gets angles on me. It's a big problem. So Zeus cannot really play the fights. As for Brewmaster, he gets his ulti off, so it's a lot of control. It's a lot of chaos. But if both your cores that are the damage dealers are running away, then it's pointless.
Well, speaking of chaos, we do have Slacks wandering the arena right now with some fans. Let's see what you're up to, Slacks.
Chaos? No chaos here, just some friendly fans. How y'all doing, everybody? Woo! Fantastic, fantastic. Front row seats here. What'd you think of the match? Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it was so fun. I loved it.
Tell us a little bit about it. Can you give us like an analytical breakdown of that last game? In case anyone missed it, what should they have known?
I'm Harold. This.
All right, did you recognize any of the heroes?
I think there's a Rubik.
Very nice. Give it up for our hero. Yay! Fantastic, fantastic. Now, I was talking to you earlier. You're an Aster fan, correct?
I am, yeah. I was going to say one of 10 American Aster fans, I think.
Okay, a little offensive, but that's fine. All right, now, any advice for our friends over at Aster? They're in a rough spot right now.
I think they just gotta like keep it together. I mean, they've all been like this before in this kind of position. So I'm hoping to see some good plays from Baboka. He's my favorite. I love Baboka. So I don't know. Keep it together.
That works enough for me. All right, fantastic. So back here, you wanted to have a moment here, asked to be on camera. What would you like to say?
All the love in the world to the Aster fans out there. You're great, but I want to see PSG LGD versus Team Spirit. TI-10 Part 2. Woo!
All right, well, the fans are live. They are excited. I'm surprised nobody started gushing for Seb, so I'll do it. I love you so much, Seb. Oh, my God, you're my favorite. I love you too, Amar. Jenkins? You're fine. All right, back to the panel. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Slacks. Jenkins, yeah, you are kind of fine. Why not?
Yeah, that's good. That's all I need.
But just
any compliment. The bar's very low.
You got it. You got it. I tossed that for you. So, I mean, to wrap things up here as far as what we need to see from Aster coming into game number 2. Although I think the conversation that you guys had is like, is Brewmaster actually OP? Amar?
I mean, now they should like have some. They should have second pick. I think they should rate second pick over against Team Spirit. Seb has a good point. Against Spirit, you should have second pick. You don't give them like the lanes they want, the comfort of their offlaner and safe laner counter picking. Instead, they have to adjust and find a way to have stable lanes.
All right, that sounds good. Let's see if Aster can bring it to a tie after this break.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Power can be found in any number of places. Scientists will tell you that it comes in newtons. Gamers will say that it can be found in silky skills. We will say that the power lies in real thrills. In the play with perfect ping. In the runes and crystals. In every frag and gank. In your personal winnings. Lock and load for PGL Arlington.
Welcome back, everyone. Spirit is one game away from making it to the lower bracket, to the grand finals. trying to see if they can knock Aster off of this tournament life here. Now, guys, it's going to be a bit rough here for Aster, perhaps. But I think if this Chen and this Brewmaster situation that is going on their side can be addressed, perhaps finding a way to enable XXS on that Brewmaster, do you think it's doable to get to Game 3?
I'm sure it's doable. I mean, they're great players and very experienced. They have Lanem also as a coach. He's no stranger to these kind of very tense situations. I also, maybe it's nice to highlight, they have like this energy that you usually don't see as much, I feel, from them, where they're grouping up before games. They're, they have this drawer going on where they're kind of, I don't know what they're saying really, but they are hyping themselves up. So I think they come in here very motivated and very determined. Lanem also seems to play a big role in that, so I'm sure that he's gonna, if they feel like they're back against the wall, he's gonna help them feel otherwise. Obviously, they might feel a little bit like that. They lost 3 games in a row now to Spirit, and it was every time in a quite dominant fashion. So of course it gets to you, but I'm sure they're gonna bounce back.
Yeah, Mar, what do you think about these pre-game speeches that these teams have?
Pre-game speeches, I mean, the speech that Seb always gives us, we call it user speech. I mean, this is a speech that without it in Sweden major, we would have probably lost, because we were, I mean, it's the same thing for us. It's like the same thing. Why we lost this major is because we lost our brains in drafting and the game itself. And there we just lost our mentality, kinda. And Seb helped us with a useless speech.
So it's maybe not so useless.
So it's useful, but we need to call it a useless speech.
Yeah.
To keep the ego low, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You cannot face the fact that deep down you like it.
That makes sense.
Well, you just gotta make it like more spicy, as perhaps just like make them do a little huddle and stuff. So as we're getting this, we're already seeing some of these bans come underway with Aster winning the coin toss earlier.
This is the big question, is the Chen. Are they going to ban it or are they going to let it through? Because this time around, Spirit is first pick.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they're also dire.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, teams are prioritizing second pick first and dire second. So, I mean, it can change, but let's say 90% of the teams this tournament, so I can only assume that Aster went for second pick. Okay, they're giving the Chen, they're playing against it. That is very interesting. Spirit lost yesterday with it against LGD. Aster has shown that they look very closely at what LGD does, because LGD did the Void versus the Razor, Aster copied it. Yesterday, LGD came up with the draft. They went for Timber, they went for Tiny Maiden, first phase, into Chen, into Phoenix, Timber saw, like very heavy AoE damage versus Chen lineups, and it worked out. So let's see now if Aster is going to take another page out of LGD's book, or if they have their own concept against Chen.
And Timber like stands in front of the tower, right? So he like protects the tower, so like all the AoE spells can be thrown at the Chen army. Like Tide also works in the same way.
The way you want to think about Chen is a hero that, well, he's a decent laner, but then he has this insane timing where he has Hand of God, his ulti, the mech, heals, and the creeps. What makes Chen so strong is the power of creeps right now. All creeps have insane buffs. Are they going to go for Tiny Maiden, or this is... Okay, they don't. They go for their own stuff for now. Yeah. This is a classic Aster opening. They're very comfortable with it, and they will probably address the Chen in the second phase. What do you think, Amar, with the Aster Dazzle? I think that's something that you felt was really strong for them.
I mean, this is totally their comfort, and they know how to make like good Dazzle strategies, Dazzle drafts in general. And I think Dazzle could be like a hero against Chen. Like, I mean, Chen could be a hero against Dazzle, but it's... Yeah, I mean, not the worst, but definitely not the best. We'll see, like, later stages, it's like their comfort, and then they can 15, 18, 24, but we'll see if they can get these heroes against Chen.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this tournament, still unbeaten, this combo for Aster. So at this point, this deep into the event, you have to think, Spirit, they're going to grab the Zeus instead.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, one thing to note also is, you see the Wyvern ban from Spirit. So first game, they banned Razor Dazzle. So it means that since they were first pick now, they wanted to get the Chen, and they decided to ban the Wyvern, which is one of the best heroes against Chen for several reasons. Obviously, he D-pushes really well with Splinter Blast when Chen wants to group up, and the Curse is always a big threat because of all the Chen creeps that are around, so whatever you curse is most likely to die. So the Wyvern ban was a setup for the Chen first pick from Spirit, and they voluntarily let the Dazzle through because they believe that it's not going to work into a Chen lineup. That's their assumption right now. They banned the Bristleback, one of the better heroes in the meta against Chen. He's one of the heroes that actually deals with Chen timings, so when Chen is really strong, he has Mech, Hand of God, and a bunch of creeps. Bristle is super happy fighting into him. Great combo with Dazzle also, Aster has run it, so great ban from Team Spirit here.
I think Spirit should respect also Troll Warlord. I think Troll Dazzle into Chen also, like it's also a great hero.
Definitely can happen. They get 18 pick also, so they're gonna see the lane. What do you think this Zeus is going? Where do you think it's going?
I think it's locked mid. I don't see how they flex this Chen and Zeus. It feels like awkward duo of supports. Maybe.
Mira has played the Zeus 4 before. I mean, it feels like a little scary, right, to kind of lock in your mid this early, perhaps. I mean, it's not unseen. We've seen it quite a bit this major if you're feeling confident with it. So
yeah, and that's usually what you want to do on first pick. Also try to keep things a little bit open so that you can get a little bit more breathing room in the second phase. But yeah, I'm really loving the Spirit bans. I think they're really nailing it once again with the draft. Like the Brewmaster would have been an insane pickup for Aster in this game particularly. It's much different from game 1. Basically, you want to think of this Chen of something you're gonna be forced to address, especially on Dire. He's gonna group up, take all your towers. If you can't fight into him and take Roche, you need to be able to stop it in some capacity or at least slow it down. If your plan is to buy time, which it could be viable, at least kind of slow down the damage it does. Because if you're gonna give him like a roll to take over your map and the Roche in 10 minutes, probably the game is gonna be impossible.
ooh, that is Enigma as well off the pool here. Now, a hero I'm not really seeing yet, but has been played, and they love it. Like with this combo, is the Faceless Void. Is that something that's going to be viable coming into so far? I mean, it's not too deep into the draft yet, but
it's harder to pick. What you want to, they need damage, Aster. They need a lot of damage. I think they picked the comfort, but now they need to fix it in second phase.
I think Timber Saw maybe 15.
Yeah, it's true actually.
Or Dawnbreaker.
Yeah, Timber didn't. I mean, I guess that kills the Timber potential. I think they only play this Dawnbreaker on position 3, right?
Yeah, I think it's only 3.
No. They go for the Dawnbreaker. Well, it can punish Chen on lane, at least. I don't know if it's the best hero against Chen in the game. I'm personally not very convinced, but it's very strong against Chen in the lane, at least. Chen doesn't really have a way to protect himself from 2 heroes trying to kill him. Obviously, he has no escape, no slow, no stun, and usually carries don't bring that either. So Chen is just like a free kill for Dawnbreaker Tiny.
And Dawn can kind of sit in a lane if Chen is like pushing with creeps and push it out and be like that first hero that gets gone on in the tower when the whole team TP's in, which is pretty nice.
It's solid. I think they need to get a lot of value from the next 2 picks on Aster, because right now it's looking scary. We get a Storm Spirit, and that means that it's going to be a Mira Zeus, I would assume. Storm Spirit mid. A very good hero at finding Dazzle. Whenever you play against Dazzle, you have to give that hero respect, and you have to understand that this hero needs to die. You can't just allow Dazzle to cast all his spells from the backline, save people with Grave, get a bunch of hexes with his shard. Dazzle has to die, and Storm is one of the best at doing so.
well, that is a Juggernaut as well. Now rounding out the phase 2 draft on the side of Spirit. I mean, we saw how well it performed the last game. Does it feel good coming in for this phase for Spirit?
I mean, kind of decent, like a good Jugger game. Like he really doesn't die to these heroes yet. Maybe it's kind of shaky lane that he will have, but in game, like he has Zeus, LT Zeus, Storm go in, find Dazzle let, like good fight to start. This Jugger can just be a bait, you know, like just press, let Fury TP out, push lanes, things like this.
Yeah, and they get the Jugger Chen. It's like when they group up right now, it's gonna be quite insane. You have to think of the Chen, all the heals from Chen, the creeps, the healing ward. It's gonna be such a massive, grouping composition that Aster can't really deal with right now, because these heroes don't counter push. They have nothing to clear waves and to kill the Chen creeps, taking down your tower. So they're gonna have to fight into this. Meaning they're gonna have to fight into the Jugger through the Chen creeps to get to the healing ward. And honestly, I don't think any of their heroes does it whatsoever right now. So it can get really scary. Of course, there's the laning phase aspect, which probably favors Asters a little bit more now. So they could just snowball the game. But if the game is even, I'm worried about them.
And that is a Death Prophet rounding out phase 2 for Aster, which is a very favorite hero for them. But does that feel good enough with the current Spirit lineup? I'm personally a little concerned with if there's enough catch for that Storm, as well as, you talk about that team fight, Storm's going to be just zipping and zapping around too. So I'm not sure, not convinced.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy. I mean, DP could work. She has a Dazzle to back her up. So she can just maybe brute force her way into the fight with the help of the Grave. If the Storm doesn't have a good enough of a game and that he's, killing Dazzle every fight. I'm not sure. Do you feel like DP is a good pick here, or?
I feel like it's good. Look, their snowball, their 5-man could potentially even become better than Spirit ones, and I don't think they have hard time to catch Storm. Tiny, Silence, DP, Dazzle made 15, and I mean Downbreaker is maybe he could, but yeah, I think they have good ways to kill the Storm.
Early game is what I'm scared of. I just feel like maybe it's too much for DP to run into Chen creeps early game. But with items, then it might work. I mean, I guess it's a DP mid, so she's gonna have a faster game. So that's the bright side. It should be DP mid, right? Or could it be Dawn? Could it be Tiny mid by any chance?
They have done Tiny mid before. Ori does play him.
I wonder if Boboka plays Dawnbreaker, and this could be like the Dawnbreaker DP lane. I'm not sure.
I think they will rather go with their comfort. Boboka played all his games on Tiny, only one time on mid, so I think they will just go with comfort. And
So
play
DP
Tiny.
mid.
Yeah, probably DP mid. I mean, if they wanna, I don't know if they could Downbreaker mid and DP top, but probably he wants down into Chen anyway.
Well, I mean, this is definitely Aster's comfort. These heroes, I think they're super happy with the heroes that they're getting. I'm just unsure if this kind of lineup can deal with a well-executed Chen lineup from Team Spirit, so we'll have to see. But I feel like both teams are getting something they're going to be very, very comfortable playing, at least.
So Aster's looking for a carry now, most likely. Looking at the Monet Faceless Void against Storm Jug seems pretty good, but also doesn't really do much to the Chen army. Is the problem.
I don't know if he has a hero that can help, though. I feel like it's maybe too much pressure put on the carry to address Chen.
Yeah.
And that they should have been addressing it by now, and probably they feel like they did. So obviously gonna give them the credit that, they have a good plan and they will execute it properly. Wonder what he's gonna be looking at. I think he could be looking at the Void then regardless, if they feel like, they don't have a Chen problem. And then obviously it's a great Void game. They have one stun, literally, in the Storm.
Yeah.
And they have a save also for the Void. You don't want to go on this Void if you pick Void. There's no way you can kill him.
And that is a Mars to round things out for the side of Spirit. Definitely a hero they favor and love to play. Are we feeling good about this one?
I think it's great. It's great. You have to think of this Chen Jogger as a ball that, in my opinion, is going to be impossible to fight if the lanes go well. And then it's just about forcing them to fight into it. And what better spell than an arena to force you to turn and fight into the arena? I think it's an amazing pickup. They also have this Zeus pick that is a little bit exposed or abusable on lanes, and then Mars just fixes it. They go for the Void anyway. I mean, I love it. It's kind of two teams making statements. It's like, we believe we can make this work,
No, for sure. And I mean, I suppose just looking at the draft and how they're going to be planning to lane this. I mean, I fully expect Aster to just start roaming their Tiny Dazzle as early as they can to perhaps try and make a miserable lane for Spirit. But we saw in the first game, it started out really well for them, just did not end that well for them. So looking at this draft for game number 2, is it very doable for Aster to tie things up, or is it going to be a Spirit draft once again?
What do you think, Amar? What are you going for?
I mean, Aster has their comfort, and I think Spirit has, kind of a solid draft. I think it comes down to the lanes. If Spirit can get good lanes, I think they can easily win this game, because if Aster don't get BKBs this game, I don't think they can play. I think they will just end this game and kill them. Oh, wait, what? Collapse, Jen?
Maposhka's playing Mars.
Well, bit of some twists and swaps there. But we do have our casters ready, so let's see how this particular matchup is going to play out with some of that shakeup. Gareth Lacoste, take us away.
I mean, we're as confused as you are. Collapse Chen. We were assuming, it's going to be one of these Beastmaster, Night Stalker last picks for them. They get the Mars. Oh yeah, collapse Mars makes sense. And then they completely swap things up. What was happening?
A good question, Gary. Maybe they want to hit an earlier timing with this Chen, get to the... I don't know if this is a Helm of the Dominator build from Chen, something that we've seen from off-lane Chens. I don't know. After they picked this hero, their chances of winning this game definitely skyrocketed.
Yeah, some bonkers stuff. I mean, Team Aster also trying to pick up the pace, right? Instead of having Monet on that tempo hero, they're going to try and buy time for the Void to really catch up, get his net worth going. The DP, the Dazzle Tiny, very good at kind of roaming, taking objectives. Does that Chen 3 then change things? Because he's going to be then faster than a support Chen, faster than Aster.
I guess that's the whole idea behind it. Also, it's been a while since I saw Position 5 Mars. I know it's been very popular in South America. They do flex this hero from the mid lane to the Position 5 if necessary. But as a Position 5, like, what do you bring to the table in the laning stage? That was always my concern. Once you get to the levels to the mid game, of course, you're going to have one item. You're going to have Arena available to keep people in place and also disengage. Team Spirit is very good at resetting because they do have Chen with the mech with the heal. You have Juggernaut with the healing ward. Their heroes are very difficult to catch. So there's going to need to be like tossbacks, Chronosphere on top of them, one spear, Arena to disengage, spin, Storm Spirit can get away, Zeus with the heavenly jump. So very difficult lineup to kill, I would say.
Yeah, maybe you can consider this Mars with his displacement tool with the spear as, like a softer Tiny, right? Bobica's going to be looking to blink in and toss. Miposhki will be looking to spear people around. And that's a really great tool to have against heroes like DP, Dawnbreaker, Dazzle, right? They want to dogpile. They want to get on top of a target, kill them with a Ghost and a Solar Guardian. So if you have this Arena spear, like you say, Miposhki, he's going to get level 6 at some point. He'll have those tools. Doesn't necessarily need a blink or anything like that. What about these other lanes then? Because Ori, picking this DP into the Storm, is that good for the Death Prophet?
Yeah, I mean, that Prophet's going to farm in this matchup. Team Aster did go for their comfort picks. You see this, like, everyone played these heroes so far in the tournament. Monet had a godlike performance on his Faceless Void yesterday. Baboka on Tiny, something that one of the better Tiny players out there, definitely an XXS on Dawnbreaker, did manage to pop off multiple times.
Yeah, and maybe a little easier for XXS to execute in this game as well, right? Because he was focused heavily in game 1. His Brewmaster did get some splits off, but they were never really utilized to their full potential. This time around, he's going to have DP, Void with a Chrono, a lot of heroes that can be graved up as well to land Solar Guardians and keep fights rolling.
Yeah, definitely. And like, for me, it looks like a good Dawnbreaker game. We've seen some teams experiment it on the off lane, especially PSG, LGD, Fate Beyond's performance yesterday, getting Rampage, getting second Rampage. They do love to play this hero on the off lane. It's a scaling position 3. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of sustain as well from Aster. Dead Prophet with the Spirit Siphons, Ulti Healing Curve, Dawnbreaker on top of that, Dazzle with the Grave, potential tossbacks. So 2 very difficult to kill lineups, I would say. For Dazzle, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare because Zeus does provide vision. You have Storm Spirit. That's going to be Toronto Tokyo's job. Find Dazzle in the back lines and straight up kill him.
That's something I was going to ask you as well, because we used to see Storm Spirit as this hero that against Death Ball suffers a lot. He wants to find individual targets, across the map several years ago. Now, a lot of players have become much better with vision, with the ability to understand which target to go on, to actually find that assassination to kill a key hero, right? As we are paused and waiting to get ourselves into game 2.
I'm no expert, Gary, but I would prefer if this Mars is offlane. To be able to play with Storm Spirit, like once he gets to the Blink Dagger, and play with the Storm Spirit. Sometimes you need that a bit of extra damage to execute on Dazzle and straight up kill him. Zeus comes into a play with his ulti, but he can't jump, he can't close the gap. We're talking about the mid-game fights before Juggernaut and Mars do have those Blink Daggers. And yeah, we have a bit of a pause here.
Yeah, we do. I mean, Aster 1 game away from elimination. Team Spirit 1 game away from recreating several grand finals in a row up against LGD. I mean, everyone in the crowd, who are you for? Team Aster fans out there? Who have we got? No, nobody.
I saw a couple of them, you know, rooting for Team Aster, and also Team Aster, they're Caster's favorite because you can't spell Caster without Aster, right? And yeah, look at the crowd right now.
There we found him.
They're on a different side.
And what about Team Spirit? Any noisemakers for Spirit? Okay. We know where the bias lies now. They want a 2-0 for Spirit.
Yeah, some of the players did disconnect. I'm not sure if we need to rejoin the lobby, if there's going to be another lobby available, but yeah, definitely some of a delay. Maybe there was a misclick, you know. Yeah, we did not want to play this Mars on the off lane.
So we've been talking about Mars 5 and Chen 3 and maybe
and then just, it's a misclick.
An error, a mistake has happened. Yeah, if we could get production to tell us what's going on there. As, like you say, the players have all disconnected. Waiting for game 2. What are your expectations for Aster in terms of mental state? Because I saw a couple of them there, a little bit shaky. You know, game 1 not looking too hot. Do you think they're going to be reset and ready to go for game 2?
Yeah, I think so. They did break the curse. Aster did have a lot of issues on LAN fighting against international teams, and finally they broke the curse. And looking at their draft, this is a classic Aster draft, a good scaling overall draft, comfort heroes. I feel like, you know, they could potentially be able to take this one. I'm leaning towards Team Spirit.
Sounds like we should go and jump into the lobby and get ourselves into the remake of the game and find out exactly what's happening.
This talk about off-lane Chen could have been, you know, just a meme, and they disconnected, and we're gonna see if it's gonna be really off-lane Chen. Last time I remember the misclick, it was Gyrocopter from Insania during TI, the big one.
What was the other one? We had Evil Geniuses where Fly and Arteezy had Phoenix and something else where they'd accidentally swapped their heroes too. They had to play them out.
I don't remember that, but yeah, I'm the master of the misclicks. I do misclick a lot. And then blame it on the teammates. I'm like, oh no, I bought this 5th tome. Misclicked 5 times in a row, while my other position, my other support is 7 levels below me.
And it's usually me that gets the flame, you know, playing with you and Fog. It's like, Gary, what are you doing? Stop running at the enemy, stop dying.
Oh, me and Fog, we're librarians. We love those books.
Let's keep reading. Yeah, you want to steal it away. Get that experience. Get yourself all the levels up. As it looks like we are all back into the lobby. Team Aster against Team Spirit should be ready, underway any time now. That's going to be a spicy one as well. Monet on that Void, Ori on the DP. I really think that Aster were really trying to build their draft to play as quickly as they possibly could.
You see one of the better offlaners in the world, Admiral Bulldog. I was talking about Slacks and Admiral Bulldog right behind him.
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad patch for Bulldog, would it?
No, definitely not. Nature's Prophet's very popular, Lone Druid as well. And that's about it.
Well, what other heroes does he play? That's it. He's just got the 2. Oh, I love that little sleeping mask, the eye mask that Yatoro uses, like a little cushion for his headset. Like beautifully fluffy.
Doesn't want any more pressure on him. Like that pressure from the headset sometimes can be too hard, and they're already feeling the pressure, you know, playing on the stage, 1 game away from getting to the grand finals.
Yeah, do you think we're going to get ourselves one of these 60-minute games? Because I know, you know, Sunsfan and Jenkins have had a few of them. I've not seen a single tier 5 item this tournament. I'm begging for it.
Oh, you're one of those guys, the chaos that tier 5 items bring to the table.
Yeah, give me those Books of the Dead. Get the push going. I honestly do miss Necronomicon. I'm not going to lie. That was one of my favorite items.
I mean, if you miss Necro 3 in the game, you can play Necrophos on the offlane. That's Necro 3 right for you.
Whew. Just a mild groan for you there, Lacoste.
And seems like players are getting ready to start the game again. We need to get through the picks.
I mean, the most important thing is figuring out whether Collapse is on that Chen or the Mars and what's actually happening there.
Oh, we are getting a word from production. It was actually a misclick, and we try to theory craft why Chen on the offlane is such a good pick for nothing, actually. I mean, this is what casters do. We're very good at lying and pretending that we know what is happening.
Well,
it happened before, so, you know.
The most important thing, right, is, the pro player, you trust, you believe. If they make a choice or a decision, you try and rationalize it. But when, Seb and Amar are going, what the heck is going on? What's happening here? That's when you start to wonder what actually is occurring. Mr. Erman Trout himself. I'm going to have to find the person with the...
Rick Aster.
The Rick Astley, yeah.
Okay.
Because that's unacceptable. You can't just drop
I renamed him to Rick Aster.
Rick Aster?
Yeah.
They're never going to give up this game too, are they?
So it's going to be Collapse playing his signature Mars. In the end, it feels like it, and Chen going to be playing position 5. They're having a good laugh about it.
Yeah, so that makes things much more settled, much more ordinary, and we expect Collapse to be that initiation hero, like Seb was talking about on the panel, able to get those catches with the arena, because as a death ball, you needed that additional bit of team fight and stun to be able to get on top of people. Oh, look, Chen.
Give Battle Pass.
That's why the game's not started. The Chen's walking around in the crowd.
Oh, he was not ready.
Hey, he needs to get up on stage. He's about to play. Yeah, Battle Pass when?
I feel like, after this tournament drops, after grand finals, 3 minutes update, and we're going to have Battle Pass ready.
We've got Battle Pass, we've got True Sight coming, the Cinderella story of Team Spirit. Like, I honestly cannot wait. True Sight, one of the most beautiful stories.
It's what, September 24th?
Esports. Yeah, something like that. A couple of weeks before TI, so you'll have to build up the hype with that nice esports documentary, getting yourself into the international. As the players are currently connecting into the game, just a little more to wait, everybody, as game 2, they're into the picking stage, and it looks like we should be ready to get back into... Oh, are we going to do draft analysis now, Lacoste?
Yeah, we can guess all 10 heroes, Gary, potentially, if we have a good memory.
Well, does it matter what they pick and ban? Yeah, they're going to keep it.
Chen, I feel like that's going to be... All right, we got it correctly.
Oh, you're so sick. Chen first pick, Tiny. What's next, though, Lacoste?
Dawnbreaker,
no,
Dazzle, never
Dazzle.
mind. Doesn't matter the order, but yeah.
Well, it does. You've got to keep it the same order for all the stats sites, make sure that the data and information is all correct for this series if you're going to remake. So you do want that pick order to be correct. But yeah, we'll have the same draft coming out, and then we'll get into the actual hero picking stage, which hopefully won't have any misclicks this time.
Imagine if they misclick again, or if they pick a different hero. It's like, well, now you got to play this hero.
Yeah, got no choice. That's what you got to do. Yeah, just a refresher. Chen, Zeus, Storm, Jug, and Mars, the Team Spirit 5 of their draft, while Aster, Faceless Void, Death Prophet, Dawnbreaker, Dazzle, and Tiny, as Collapse has picked Mars. Success! Miposhka on the Chen.
This is the
We've
roles
done it.
These are the roles that they wanted, and finally we're going to be able to jump into the game and see what's going to happen.
Yeah, Team Spirit.
This can potentially kill momentum for some of the teams, the longer pauses, some of the disconnects and everything, but yeah, seems like players are fully focused and ready to go.
Yeah, just got to take a deep breath, relax, get rid of that anxiety.
Oh, we want Lacoste puns. I dropped a couple, thanks, I appreciate that.
He's going to write a book next year. The coffee table book of Lacoste puns and dad jokes.
About coffee tables.
Oh yeah, very important game here. Team Aster, 1 game away from elimination, and Team Spirit closing in on that grand final. And if game 1 was anything to go by, Team Spirit seemed to have Aster's number.
I'll tell one of the old puns that I said, during last TI, every single time Team Spirit, when they play Mars, they're called Team Spirit.
Oh!
There you go. And we can get finally into the game.
Away we go! Team Spirit up against Aster. And are you ready, everybody in Arlington, for game 2? As we get things underway. And both teams smoking up and getting themselves across the map. Let's get things started.
Finally, we're there. We push the buttons. It's casters who are holding hostages players, not allowing them to play the game, and we did click that F9 resume button.
Yeah, casters, start game, please. BO3 charging. He wants to get into the action as quickly as possible. Ori already with an early ward, doesn't see the Toronto-Tokyo Storm, also warding in pretty much the same spot. It looks like Spirit just waiting up on this high ground. Maybe expecting Aster to make that wraparound play again, which a lot of teams are enjoying, is that move in towards the mid lane to catch out one of these heroes and look to kill them before the runes spawn. Team Aster also kind of sitting around mid with BO3, the only one out on the map really. He's centering up small camp, blocking that up at top. And even has an observer ward to place into that top jungle. So he's looking out for Chen and his creep grabbing, his camp stacking.
Yeah, that's inside, so that means they don't want to deal with some of these very annoying early Chen creeps.
Yeah,
we've seen Chen creeps dominate, especially, I know you're going to like this one, the Purge creep against the Batrider. It's in my memory, and I don't think I'm ever going to forget it, e.g. Chen Spectre lane against the Batrider. Very, very annoying to deal with.
Yeah, such a good counter, something that you don't really expect. There's not too much here for the Chen to really counteract with specific creeps to grab, but he's still going to bolster that top lane. You know, Jug Chen, one of these stronger combos, you know you're going to be sustained with Healing Ward, with Divine Favor, so you will get free farm on Yatoro no matter what. And it's going to come down to Aster, you know, to toss back, to outplay, kill the Chen a few times to try and get that ball rolling. Down at bottom, Monet on the Faceless Void. Dazzle playing forward, but this is absolutely a kill lane once Team Spirit gets a couple of levels, so early aggression important for Aster. Don't allow them that early level 2.
Yep, and Miposhka on Mars, just kidding. Collapse is playing it, does have a God's Rebuke. It's going to be a lot of harassment at the early levels. Mira will be starting with the Lightning Bolt instead of the Arc Lightning, as position 4 Zeus's do.
Just keep spamming that out. Time dilation for Monet. Just dragging wave back, resetting the lane. While Miposhka's Chen up top with Yatoro's Jug, looking to secure these creeps. And even de-warding his small camp, get rid of that sentry ward, which BO3 did place a little earlier on. Pretty good from the Dawn and Tiny so far, though. 4 and 2 on the Dawn, and 1 and 1 Tiny, meaning 3 denies against this Juggernaut, delaying and stopping his farm early on.
Dawnbreaker, very strong laner, level 1, 69 damage with 2 gauntlets, Circlet and Iron Branch. Very, very nice, and a lot of damage. So every single time Juggernaut gets close, you know that they're going to be throwing those right clicks in. And I don't think they possess a kill threat on Dawnbreaker.
What was that? Collapse has locked his gauntlet. No reason whatsoever. He's got lots of gauntlets coming. He's buying another, has another one queued, so that's going to be the Bracer Soul Ring build, it looks like, for Collapse. Something that I feel has fallen out of favor recently, but you know, Mars coming back into play still makes a lot of sense. Tank up, have that mana regen, allow you to continue playing aggressively.
A Soul Ring, very powerful items. We see that item being built on even mid laners who are like Storm Spirit, Lina. They do love to get an item. It's a free mana for them, it's a farming tool. How's mid doing? Pretty even. 10 and 4 on Ori, 10-3 on Toronto.
Completely even. Ori getting a little more damage onto Toronto-Tokyo. You know, Storm has to get into the midst of the creep wave, and that allows the Crypt Swarm to do a lot of damage back, while Monet chasing into Collapse, and Mira now getting turned on. But Dazzle running away from this Zeus and Mars, who still do offer a lot of damage. Mira now back in the trees, but he's juked them, breaking some ankles. A regen trade won by Aster in that bottom lane, though. Both of them very high HP values, while Team Spirit starting to run a little low.
Sustain from Dazzle, and also being able to use Time Walk defensively against this chip damage.
There it is. BO3 with a toss back.
Maybe they should have played this Chen on the off lane. I don't think he would die there.
There's an opportunity for it, wasn't there? Collapse spears back the Faceless Void, but this time dilation with the Poison Touch. Oh, that's incredibly annoying with a slow, with a turnaround play. Collapse and Mira.
Can he deny himself?
The Dazzle, and he will deny himself to neutrals.
He was thinking there for a second. Do I need to deny myself or not? And gonna come back to a lane in 20 seconds. Full HP, full mana, but nicely done. Great turnaround play.
Yeah, very, very good trade. And it doesn't feel too bad with the Chen dying top lane, right? That's part of his job, is to kind of sacrifice himself for the Juggernaut.
Pretty much. And because Dazzle died, he did replenish bottle for Dead Prophet, or he actually managing to get a kill on Toronto Tokyo.
So he did, yeah, the solo kill there on the Storm.
Bit of a detours, at least for me, because I was watching the bottom lane.
Well, there's action top, action bot. Storm Spirit already brought down to 20% health. Ori just keeping that damage going, now 21 and 7, so a couple of waves ahead of the Storm.
Ori's gonna hit level 6, and Toronto still might be level 4, so this is pretty huge. He's gonna run him down.
Well, this is where you need your tempo to come from. Vortex from Toronto. Getting a bit of chip damage onto Ori, but look at Baboka roaming in towards mid. I don't know if this is something
he knows. He definitely knows. He senses it. But this is going to be a lot of damage to the tower. Popped the glyph already. Team Spirit, they need to have someone rotate to the mid lane.
No. He tried to jump up Mount Olympus, but he's landed down in Hades now, it looks like.
Bit of a bonk there.
Back by the Dazzle. Poison Touch still going. Good TP, though, knowing there are no stuns. Will allow him some safety, but yeah, look at this, level 4 Storm.
Underneath the tower.
Baboka finds him, drags him into the ghost of Ori.
Beautifully done. I mean, that's not going to be too much damage on the tower, because Catapult did die, but still half HP, still Storm Spirit, level 4.
That's a rough one for him.
Oh, never mind, Catapult is still there.
It's gonna
was
die
high, because the creeps were actually following Zeus, that's why.
Does get taken out in the end. Team Spirit looking to bring a couple of heroes in that mid lane. Storm now farming top jungle because he desperately needs level 6. 32-11 on the Death Prophet.
You can't skip levels. First he needs level 5 because he's still level 4.
Yeah, one step at a time, you're right. But he's got some stacks for himself, so that will get him to that first step level 5. Down at the bottom of the cores in terms of CS.
Yeah, but if we show network, can we please show network?
Oh,
big difference. 3,000 on Dead Prophet, 1.8 on Storm Spirit.
Yeah, 1,200 gap, and he's being ganked as well. Storm denies himself to a neutral creep. How's he done that? Collapse, getting run out by this Dazzle, but Miposhka, he's got a couple of creeps here to maybe get in on top of this Dazzle. Collapse has a spear and a God's Rebuke, and that should be enough to burst him down.
If someone knows how to play Mars, that's definitely Collapse. Level 5.5. They're trying to go on Juggernaut.
Oh, it looks like they've got him. Didn't even get a chance to use his magic stick. This is the aggression we needed from Aster. And Ori chasing back Mira, dragging the creep waves around. Again, another situation where Team Spirit, it feels like they've got to extend this laning stage, try and drag things out for a few more minutes. Collapse is having a very good game, though.
Aster's getting way too much from the laning stage. Look at the XXS item build. Double Bracer, Branch, and a Soul Ring. Like, this guy's not gonna die. And also putting some pressure on the top tower, already down to 900 HP.
Yeah, still has the catapult here as well. And with Baboka arriving, they know the spin's down. Healing ward comes from Jug, but Yatoro, he'll be found by Baboka. Avalanche, the toss.
Another Exo.
Damage, but Exo here with a Crypt Swarm from Ori. Clears through the Jug and will take the tier 1 tower.
This is big, because I don't think Team Spirit will be able to match this aggression. Next Exorcism, even grouping around with a couple of heroes. Dawnbreaker does have ulti, so if they find an opening on a mid lane with Solar Guardian, they can just take tower by force without even using the next Exo.
I mean, they're just so far ahead in net worth and levels now. This DP Dawnbreaker doing exceptionally well. The Faceless Void being bullied, though. Collapse is keeping Monet away from these creep waves. Bottom of the net worth of the cores. And Juggernaut, Storm, and Mars leapfrogging over him on that board. It looks like
who's
Monet
here.
going for the mom.
I'm not talking about Chen. Vul Assassin reducing the regeneration by 75. One of the most annoying heroes to play against any healer. I mean, it's a 1 point in Shadow Wave, so it's not that much, but ugly looking fella does a ton of work.
He definitely does. Very irritating to deal with. And another neutral creep with an underbite. They've all got these big old teeth and fangs. Tumblr's toy for Team Spirit. We'll see if Aster are able to get one for their Tiny. They're bringing a few heroes down here. Aster want to force something. BO3 so far has had an exceptional time catching heroes, and Collapse is going to be no different on the Mars. Time dilated, and the Solar Guardian landing.
Good body blocks from BO3.
Gets XXS a kill. Mira and Miposhka now kind of relegated just to holding back any push that Aster would want to make.
You asked and it gets delivered. Tiny does have a Tumbler's Toy, so might be able to close the gap. It's definitely the best tier 1 item in the game. Fairy's Trinket is up there, but I prefer Tumbler's Toy.
Well, Mira goes a step too far into that bottom jungle. 3 Aster heroes meet him. And now the aggressive wards start to come out. There's a sentry there looking to de-ward. Aster would love to go and take this tier 1 middle lane though. Nice Team Spirit ready for themselves for a move down bot. They've got Arena. Storm seems like he's ready to get into the thick of things. Toronto Tokyo there off in the side in the trees, going for that Tread Soul Ring build we've seen a little more of this tournament.
They want to get something done. Put some pressure on the tower. Catapult Wave is spawning in 10 seconds, and also knowing that there is no Solar Guardian. But Ori does have Exorcism, so this seems like it's going to be a free tower on the mid lane.
Yeah, and I believe they've seen Yataro's joke. They know he's alone up in that top jungle. As soon as the 4 heroes from Spirit show themselves on the bottom tower, I mean, Ori doesn't even need to use Exo here. It's just going to be a complete free one.
No one showed up, which means that he can hold on to Exorcism and also this valuable point in Silence, because that Prophet is very high level, did manage to get those early kills, sitting at 3-0. Could surprise Storm Spirit, Mars, like even Juggernaut.
Oh, the toss forward, XXS sent straight into the Zeus. Mira drained of his life by Ori's DP. And Toronto Tokyo has nothing left to do here. We'll just ball lightning away and bail and
a courier on top of that.
Chin.
Ori will be taking the tower. He wants more. They do still have a glyph because their tier 1 tower did die. And Scan connected, so they know someone is here.
Collapse, trying to TP out of here. Oh, there's no stuns coming fast enough. The Chen creeps though. The Harpies and the Hellbear left in the forest. And it did stop the push from Aster though. I made sure that tier 1 tower will still be alive while claiming a lot of farm on the Juggernaut. But when Aster really put their foot down, it doesn't feel like Team Spirit have had any of the answers.
This is where Chen was supposed to be strong once he gets to his mech timing, Hand of God, try to go for something. Mira is about to hit level 6 on Zeus. Collapse. He wants something, and he wants the big one.
It's Monet. Collapse. He's got Arena. Do we catch him here with Mira? He misses the bolt, and Monet's over the side of the Colosseum, and now the Chrono in.
Dawnbreaker ulti will follow.
On the outside, the Solar Guardian's going to land onto no heroes. Aster trying to respond. A little bit sloppy with their turnaround there, but still able to keep the Void alive, which is important. And Aster bringing more heroes along. Yataro will spin before the Avalanche can touch him. BO3
Tumbler's Toy thinking about getting in, but won't be able to close the gap.
He tosses XXS forward, but the displacement out of the spear makes sure that Team Spirit can reset.
This execution from Spirit needed to be perfect. Bolt just to get a little bit of a stun on Faceless Void on the edge of the arena and then use Spear, but very difficult task to execute. Toronto Tokyo recovering on the bottom lane, trying to get as much farm as he can.
Well, someone's left their heart in the jungle. Poor little neutral item. Toronto Tokyo's not going to see it either. Comes back and farms the smaller camps. BO3 spotting Collapse, forcing him back to high ground in the triangle. Team Spirit very much on the back foot, but again, you know, we had the same story in game 1 where Aster were doing exceptionally well. They were 14-2 ahead. You look at the net worth, you look at the item progression.
This time around, it's a bit of a different game because they do have late game security with Faceless Void, Dead Prophet scaling insanely well, and so does Dawnbreaker. So I don't think they need to be like too careful about it. Next time Team Spirit uses any of their big ultis, there's a possibility for Aster to go inside a pit because they do have a lot of sustain. Mask of Madness done, Dawnbreaker, like Dazzle does have 2 points in Shadow Wave, and the Exorcism. You would definitely love this Exo to be level 2 for that because the Ghost double, but we'll see how they approach it.
It still seems pretty difficult to find Toronto Tokyo. After his laning stage going 0-3, he's had a nice, solid 6 minutes where he's completely farmed through, untouched. The catch here on the Storm really is primarily that Faceless Void chrono. But Team Spirit smoking as 3, a lot of magical nuke damage from these. The Roman and the Greek gods pairing together. Looking for Monet again.
Still no Blink Dagger on Mars, so they need to do it one more time. But this time around, Storm Spirit can jump in and set things up with the Vortex.
Oh, he feels it coming, doesn't he, Monet? Oh, he's stepping forward. Stepping forward. He wants that creep wave. Team Spirit going to give up on it, though. They don't want to commit. And it looks like the Ocean Heart was finally reclaimed by the rightful owner. Dazzle will take it up as XXS found it in the forest. And now it's go time again, Radiant the scan. They don't have vision here, and Team Spirit with 3 wards around this top jungle and Roche area. If they're able to break this smoke, they could get out with just minor casualties.
Radiant scan connected, he's holding the entrance.
Dire scan as well, so they know that this angle of attack is likely to come from the western side. Bobica, Tumbler's Toy, onto the Storm, the spear back across, but the silence is there. Ori with a beautiful timing. Launches the silence projectile as Meposhka, Dawnbreaker, hits him with a big old mace, and the Chen will fall. Oh, it does have mech though. A bit of time bought, but delaying the inevitable.
That was nicely done from Baboka. The combination this time around, toss into silence and also tossing him away from mech, which could potentially make a difference there.
Collapse, still wanting to use this arena. Doesn't have any backup, and another freebie for Aster. Really picking up the pace now. These towers, money in the pockets of every hero. Outpost unlocked with a tier 2 taken.
Bit of a difficult task here for Team Spirit. Their position 1 and 2 not involved in any of the kills. Combined score of 0-5 and 0. They will need to recover.
Now, well, Yatoro with this Maelstrom, he's climbing. 7,100 net worth, but you talked about the answer, right? This Faceless Void. He was bottom of the cores. Now he's building up. He's had a bit of freedom to get his farm going. And Aster have managed to get themselves out of this lane stage and into a great spot against Spirit. Monet, Chrono straight up on the Storm, and they've got enough damage to bring him down. Oh, the ball lightning left
in and
right. Where are we off to? Back to the Chen with a mech. That was so close. Did Void get any time locks in there?
I think he did, but needed one extra hit and not enough. Dawnbreaker ulti not available. The Chrono into Solar Guardian is a really good setup for them. XXS having a time of his life on Dawnbreaker. 5-0 and 4, does have Deso finished, so that's going to be some extra pressure on towers from Spirit. Next Roche definitely on menu once that Prophet has Exorcism, and that's 40 seconds.
Also a really nice item against the Juggernaut. When he spins, one of the ways to deal with him is just to click the Jug. Hit him down, do that physical damage.
Big synergy with that Prophet ulti as well.
Oh yeah, amp up the physical damage of the Ghosts, you're right. Back into the Ancients. Monet has a stack here for himself. Mask of Madness Maelstrom done, 17 minutes in. He's going to offer a lot of damage in these Chronos. A little bit of backup here as Ori will guard the staircases, making sure there's no advance from Spirit. And even smoking to play aggressively again.
Even though that Prophet is 600 gold away from BKB, they're going to smoke in and look for something. Storm Spirit, how's he doing? Kaya done. Looking towards that BKB, definitely needs it. Collapse does have that Mars Blink Dagger, so that's going to be a good way to initiate and follow up on Storm Spirit.
Well, the vision top spot's nothing, so it looks like Aster going a little deeper. Dire vision is up there, but they are still smoked. Now broken as they get the D-Ward and the outpost reclaimed. The mid lane being pinged out as Team Spirit are moving into the vicinity.
Aster taking out Outpost from Spirit, which means that there's not going to be buybacks and TP rotations if they go inside a pit, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, with the Ghosts and this Void with so much damage, they're in the Roche pit. Meposhka does get that mid-tier 1, but Team Spirit not reacting to this, just allowing Aster to take it. And again, just looking at the way that they're itemizing and spending their gold, Team Spirit are absolutely still in this. 2k lead is all that Aster has.
Spirit playing bottom part of the map. They were fully aware of what's happening, but did not want to contest. They don't feel too comfortable Same as what happened in game 1 when they had a bristleback. They needed to dodge these fights, and they will definitely need to dodge them again. Or try to bait a fight when there is no Exo, no Chronosphere, and then you have like 2 minutes where you don't really rely on cooldowns as much, because with the Storm Spirit Mars, you can still go for the pickoffs.
Well, Miposhka finally getting his boots 20 minutes in. Already with BKB ready. But very often in these games, 20 minutes in, the defining factor is that team fight execution, playing into your vision, knowing where the targets are that you want to jump. Something that Aster could use here.
Team Spirit, again, has been doing a very good job at dodging the team fights and finding the farm on the map.
Yeah, Yatoro closing in on Skadi, opting not to go for the full Mjolnir this time. Oh, well, Collapse. He's not looking for the kill, he's just looking for the creep wave. Ori pushes it into him, they both TP away. They don't want to be up at top lane while XXS does have a shard up. The Starbreaker trying to give him a bit of gap here, but Yatoro, he's 1v4 and getting a kill now on his way out. No Omni Slash, no spin, so Monet will chrono him. The Storm Spirit zips in, zips out, gets the Yatoro Juggernaut out.
And the pullback.
He's back in though. The Hurricane doesn't save him. Monet and Bubba pairing up finally to kill off Yatoro, but what beautiful play from Spirit.
They did manage to go for the Dawnbreaker, and Toronto Tokyo, he wants more, holding that Arcane Rune. Finally an opening from Collapse.
The Dazzle's down. Monet time walks aggressively now. Ori will come up the stairs. And Bobacat, Tumbler's toy, the blink in, the aggressive avalanche play with a toss in there. The silence secures the kill. Yule's up, finds the Mars, and Monet chases forward. I don't know if they can finish off Collapse. He's pretty tanky with a wand in the back of Miposhka's Chen. They're diving in with another toss. They've got him.
Baboka has been everywhere this game, involved in 12 out of 14 kills. This Tumbler's toy allowing him to close the gap, and they might be able to take out this tower because the lane is pushing in. Ori a bit low on mana.
He's going to have to fall back. Think about his next move. Monet also TPing away. Coming down to this bottom outpost. Dazzle regrouping with Ori. I think he refilled the bottle there.
Put the clarity as well, brought in some neutral items. Siamese Cat playing that real position 5 in this game.
Keeping his mid out on the map so she doesn't have to return to Fountain. Mira, Arcane Boots, Voidstone queued up, so what is that, going to be a Yule Scepter for the Zeus? Aether Lens?
Most likely Aether Lens to keep the distance, because if he gets closer to a fight, he's just straight up dead. Did manage to pick up the shard, so that's going to be a ton of damage. And he also did put more points in Arc Lightning. He wants to be able to farm, push out the waves as position for Zeus.
That's been the name of the game for Team Spirit. Delay, 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 but Bobaka straight in onto the Chen. Miposhka. He will fall. Trying to keep his army alive, though. One of your favorites there, the Ogre Vampire Mage, you call it?
Yeah, that one is really nice. Remember when it was 8 armor?
Yeah, I do. Well, then they nerfed it to 7, then they realized that's still too strong, so put it down to 5. But very good against these heroes like Dawnbreaker and Void, who are reliant on their right-click attacks. Inside of Chrono, if you get that Frost Shield onto Yatoro or someone, it might be enough to keep them alive. Aster with another minute left on this Aegis, but Team Spirit, they're rallying around Toronto Tokyo, smoking up with the entire Chen army, and Collapse going to lead the charge out here.
He also did pick up the shard on Mars. Be able to push out the waves and potentially get another connection inside the arena.
Up. Toronto Tokyo hunting the backlines. He wants the Dazzle.
Still DD running for a couple of seconds.
Ori half HP. The Chrono's in with the Solar Guardian, but the Arena Spear catching Monet. Yatoro getting low, but the Omni Slash comes out. And the Zeus ult. Thunder God's Wrath rains damage from the heavens. Tiny forced to buy back, but Monet, he's looking for the Juggernaut. Spin, and the Hurricane gets him away from danger, and the blink out, jump away with the ball lightning. Bobica wants it, desperate for Yatoro.
Mighty Airlines.
But the time dilation slows him down and gets the kill.
And they're gonna run him down. He does have a Soul Ring, but this long duration silence, another toss.
A bash maybe with the avalanche, the kill on to Toronto Tokyo as Aster bringing it back here in game 2. Collapse with a spear will catch a couple against the barracks, but Aster have cleared through Team
buyback.
Spirit.
He wants one, and he gets it. Extra 500 gold for him. Toronto Tokyo wants to get any kind of gold that he can from these fights. Oh, a big problem there. Outpost is still being controlled by Aster, which does allow Boboka to buy back and TP back into the fight, allowing him to use multiple combos, getting 2 additional kills.
Yeah, look decent, you know, Team Spirit having this backstab ability with the Storm, aiming for the Dazzle.
Big moves from Dazzle, juking Storm Spirit and allowing himself to cast a good Grave off in that fight.
And the Grave and the Yules overlapping a little bit, but Ori kept the Ghosts going. And the ability here, you said it right, Boboka buying back, TPing to Outpost and able to blink Tumbler's Toy, find that Juggernaut with a nice toss forward of the Void.
And then finds another combo on the Storm Spirit, who is really low on mana. And something that Storm struggles against is this Dead Prophet Silence. Like a spell we never talk too much about, but it's a huge AoE and it's a long duration silence.
Yeah, 6 seconds. Storm really desperate for this BKB now. And we see the final move, of course, of that Storm Spirit buying back and killing XXS. As BKB is delivered on Toronto Tokyo. Team Spirit want to make some moves of their own. Immediate BKB from Ori. So quick on the fingers and the silent stun. Chain disable on the Storm. His BKB's up.
Oh, he's so low.
Away, but he turns to fight. Bottles up. He just brought back, so he's got to be so careful with his life now.
That's having that Tumbler's Toy. Toronto Tokyo managing to get out of the trouble. But the next time he's dead, it's going to be this is going to be like 70 seconds dead for Toronto.
He'll be gone for a long time. 58 seconds for the next Roche to potentially respawn. So Aster, oh my God, that was close. Toronto Tokyo. Oh my God. If my toes are curling and butt's clenching, I wonder how he's feeling. That Tiny nearly had him.
Gotta be really careful. Next Chronosphere, you know that they're gonna be aiming for them. And so far, Aster did manage to shut down Chen's aggression. Dire Chen, very high win rate so far in this tournament and not allowing him to hit his timings.
Yeah, they've not been able to push top tier 1. They got the bottom and the mid towers, sure, but it's also meant to be securing you areas on the map, and they haven't really been able to cross the river and do anything meaningful until now. Team Spirit gets some vision down, but Ori and Boboka, they want to stomp this out. They don't want the pests to be in their forest, so the Dawnbreaker onto the Collapse Mars, take him down with Ori's Spirit Siphon, dead for 45. But Roshan is a long one.
Oh, Chrono, he's thinking about it, faking it. Because he knows Dawnbreaker, if she comes and lands a stun after the Chrono ends, there is more than enough to kill this Storm Spirit. He's still not tanky.
Yeah, Tiny TP'd as well, didn't he? Up to that outpost, still belonging to Aster. But along Roshan, does that favor Team Spirit because they want the game to go longer, or is this still, like you say, the ability for the Void to scale? Dawnbreaker,
yeah, they want to have another set of items. Juggernaut did finish Scotty, a bit of an earlier Scotty timing to reduce the healing from Dead Prophet, Dazzle, Dawnbreaker. Very good pickup here, and now going into Basher. He feels like he needs more control.
Taking control on that top part of the map. There is a bit of dire vision there. Being pinked out by Miposhka. Looks like they want to try and play into that, or at least keep it alive. You don't want all these wards to be removed by Aster. I'd love to see them pick up a gem at some point, because they are keeping this pressure going. If they grab a gem on Aster to remove every ounce of vision that Spirit has, it means the Storm's life is more difficult, Mars's life is more difficult, and they are fully reliant then on the Zeus ulti to give vision.
I'm over here.
Spirit putting in some weird observer wards, if you want to call that, something that's not going to get devorded.
Ori BKB, Exo as well. Moves forward onto the Chen, looks like a freebie. Ooh, the mech and the Hurricane, though. Miposhka, hand of God for himself. A lot expended there to keep the Chen alive. And Roshan still hasn't respawned and won't for a minute.
Hurricane is such a big ability on these neutral. Definitely my favorite one. We've seen so many good plays from it.
Ori, out of the smoke. Straight into Yatoro. He doesn't have BKB anymore, but Monet's there with the Chrono. The two cores caught inside. Collapse. He will spear them up against the Colosseum, but the Juggernaut...
Can they bring it down? Yes, they can.
He's gone for 80 seconds. Storm and Mars on the run now. Chen, another kill for Aster as Bobica tumbling forward, tossing back, finding Collapse. Monet just needs a bash, the Avalanche comes in, and that's pretty much everyone of meaningful value dead on Team Spirit's side.
And
Aster with another beautiful fight.
XXS finding Storm Spirit, that Mindbreaker coming in clutch, extra silence does allow him to connect. And look at the way Team Aster is building. They have Faceless Void with the Time Walk that can close the gap, and then you have 3 heroes with the Blink Dagger, so they want to be able to follow up the jump. This is second Roche, which means free shard for them. Dazzle has one queued up. I wouldn't mind seeing one on Dead Prophet, because Faceless Void did pick up his, and so did Dawnbreaker. Let's see if they prioritize Ori's shard or they give one to Siamese Cat. You wanted to see Gem? Dazzle picked one up.
Very good. Just keep it going. Make sure that you're stomping down with this 11k lead you have. Spend the money you've got.
They gave it to Dazzle in the end.
All right.
Siamese Cat is like, oh, I'm sorry, Dead Prophet, you were not close to Roche, which means I'm going to be taking it.
Yeah, yoinks it. And still 15 seconds with no Storm. Mira immediately found the initiation from Bobica. Too much. Yatoro with Collapse. Are they wanting to fight this? He spins, but it's going to come to an end soon. Monet does get bashed on the way out. Yatoro looking
Gets
for
another one.
bash. Has the Grave and the Time Walk, though. The Arena holding them in place while XXS focuses the Juggernaut down. The Hurricane again, giving safety to Yatoro for the Omni Slash to arrive on Monet.
They do manage to bring him down once. Zeus is respawning in 15 seconds. Chen in a lot of trouble. Gets one shot
as well.
Bobica is playing out of his mind on this Tiny. He's finding every single time one of the crucial targets, even without vision. He's blinking in aggressively and going for the right toss back, making Toronto Tokyo's life very miserable in this game.
It has been impossible for Storm to play the game. And this Deso getting a lot of stacks up now for XXS. Shiva's Guard, is that fully done? Being delivered by the courier. Captain Bambo, the little panda arriving, but there you step 1 inch out of position. And Aster will be right on top of you.
And also Clutch Grave coming in here. Yatoro did not want to go in, but after seeing that bash, he's like, well, you know what? I'm going to do it again. You want to see me do it again?
Yeah, just believe. Well, very well executed by Aster, keeping everybody alive. Yes, Monet loses the Aegis, so that's likely what Team Spirit were really aiming for in this team fight, is get Aegis, get out with as few deaths as possible.
Ori having a perfect game. They did not manage to kill him even once. Pops that Exorcism with your Arcane Rune. Blink Dagger, Spider Legs. Toronto will TP out. That was a risky move.
Yeah, very.
Ori could have potentially blinked and used Yule Scepter. Next time he does that, I'm pretty sure Ori will be ready.
He'll be looking for it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Monet up top with Baboka. And a Chrono on Yatoro. Under this vision, with the Solar Guardian arriving, they've got the Juggernaut locked up and killed. Miposhka being chased now. And Team Spirit, they're being put straight in jail.
Deleted from the game, 3-shotted by Dawnbreaker. This hero is nuts. Once you get the item timings, it gets pretty ridiculous. They will need some spears into tier 4 towers potentially. This game looking really rough. Next set of items for Team Spirit.
I don't know if you can see on the mini-map, but I think up at the top, they're drawing sad faces and smiley faces. There's 2 Chen creeps up there making the eyes, and both Collapse and Mira are drawing sad smiles. Oh, they've got Collapse forced into BKB. A lot of physical damage from XXS, but not quite enough to get the kill on the Mars there.
Toronto trying to get as much farm as he can, going for Orchid. Wants to be able to assassinate this Dazzle, but Glimmer Cape and 2,000 gold on Dazzle might be a bit too difficult.
Well, at least Team Spirit are having fun with these creeps up top. They get recalled back into the Chen's area, back in that Dire base. Well, it's nice to see, even though they're losing, down 17k, Team Spirit lifting their own spirits, while Toronto Tokyo BKB Has a TP ready. Gonna ball lightning off to the left-hand side. Make sure the Faceless Void or anyone like that can't catch up to him.
They need to play like this, try to buy as much time as possible. Juggernaut, his next item, gonna be Mjolnir. We've seen what Mjolnir can do from all these instances of damage. But yeah, one thing to be also careful about is that Dazzle Shard that was given to him from Roshan. He picked up a Blink Dagger, so they can actually close the gap. 4 Blink Daggers on Aster plus a Time Walk.
That Radiant Ward has got Aster so much, and if they can get another one, Mira successfully TP's home, but their Obs Ward's gonna get cleared out. That one bit of vision for Aster has given them so many kills, so much information. Yeah, they're pinging the Dire Ward as well. They'll know to remove it. How long have we waited for that Storm to get Orchid? He finally
34
has it
minutes.
delivered. How much of an impact is that going to have for him?
And Toronto already knows. Pay attention. Dust of Appearance on a core, something that we don't see in the pub games, but he bought it. He knows that he needs to assassinate this Dazzle.
That is his primary objective. Find and kill the Dazzle. Blink and Glimmercape on Siamese Cat, though. It's like an Oracle build. You know, keep distance, jump in when you are needed at the last second. Try and hide from the Storm, who yet again is just balling into creep waves to keep this push away from the Dire base. They do find Collapse, though. A combo from Tiny, but a great spear back. Monet, does he want to spend Chrono? He doesn't, and will allow the blink away. Collapse, TP's home successfully.
These are the type of moves that are going to keep them in-game, forcing a 5-man rotation from Aster, which means that the top part of the map will be free to farm.
Biding their time. Yatoro about to finish off Mjolnir. We've already seen the work he can do with that Basher. Adding more damage. And more layers to their team fight. A very patient one from Team Spirit. Waiting for anyone from Aster to show that they really want to go on. XXS has already dipped back into the trees. And Radiant Vision, watching down at that bottom part of the map. That did give Aster a nice little move there to keep the wave shoved out. And it's also nice because Team Spirit would naturally flow down into that bottom jungle to look to take over some of that farm there, while the Aster heroes are all actually up top.
Team Spirit did not have Outpost or Ori for themselves in a very long time. Gonna start with the silence. Toronto Tokyo does not want to risk anything, or does he?
That's a little, you know, hello, I see you. You forced my BKB, I'm trying to force yours. Ori doesn't flinch. Holds that BKB. Scythe of Vice coming up next as well, so another tool to catch the Storm or the Juggernaut. Make sure they can't get off their magic immunity spells or abilities.
Also, Void did hit level 25, so 20% backtrack. That's a big one. They still didn't manage to kill him even once. He does have Tossback, Dawnbreaker ulti, Grave, so gonna be very difficult. One way to deal with it is to break it. This talent is breakable, so I see Juggernaut going for Silver Edge. Still very far away from it, but eventually gonna be really good against it.
It just never feels like Team Spirit are out of these games. A 20k lead, and they are still punching back, controlling the map. Their macro play is superb. And another minute and a half wait for Roshan to respawn. Means even more time to delay and get these key items on them. Aster, yeah, they're finding room for themselves, but they need another teamfight victory to really close this one out and secure the win.
Oh, Collapse. He's selling all of his items. He wants to have a refresher for the next fight.
Okay, you worried me there for a second. What did he sell?
No. We didn't mean selling his item. Send the queuing up Shadow Amulet. He's still in this game.
There's the refresher orb. Barbacar with a gem, getting rid of this Dire Vision. Yet again, so important for that catch and kill potential. As we do start to get some of these tier 4 items. Spell Prism for Aster. Ascetic's Cap there. Grabbed by the Juggernaut. Still has that Titan Sliver though.
They need to find their tier 4 items. Ori holding a Spell Prism, and they swap the items. Boca will be one. Getting those spider legs, which means that he might find better angles for the toss backs and also getting closer to level 20. So toss requires no target. That talent's pretty OP.
It's like Team Spirit know when Roshan's going to respawn, even without the timer. Dire scanning, doesn't connect on anybody. But at this point, they kind of have to assume that Roche is alive.
Oh, they know. Radiant using a scan, and they know exactly where they are. Drawing on a minimap. It's not Smileys this time around.
Aster, they're ready. Monet to the high ground. Yeah, I think he saw them. Caught a glimpse. The smoke did break, and Roshan about to respawn.
Also, Dawnbreaker hitting level 25, 2 Starbreaker charges. That's a big one. That's the game changer.
The Vul Assassin, he's in the pit scouting out Aster as well. Sees Ori and Monet. One jump, one initiation. That's what wins you these team fights. Storm with his BKB up, they focus the void, the grave comes early. Yatoro, he's
another spear away.
Spear away, they're aiming Monet, but he gets the time walk out. Comes back in with a chrono, and Aster, they'll turn this one back around on Spirit. A double for Monet, and likely the game coming swiftly after.
And they're gonna call it.
And we're all heading to a game 3.
And they tried really hard in the end to kill this Faceless Void. Even if they managed to get a kill, he still does have a buyback and an outpost at DP2.